The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
Well, that was less than dramatic. But welcome back to the Whitfield Report. Can't quite say good evening yet. Doesn't feel quite right to say that. But well, it's been a week since Charlie was assassinated, and still feels kind of surreal. To be honest.
Yeah.
But we do have some good news to start off the show.
Well, by this point, if anybody's watching live, they definitely probably are the type of person plugged in to already have seen this. And if they're watching later, they definitely would have seen it because it's huge news. But just a few minutes ago, Trump announced that he's declared Antifa a terror organization.
Yeah, so yep, and I've got your tweet right here. And for the audio listener, if you're listening to this later on, Max retweeted one of Trump's True Social posts in which Trump says, "I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I'm designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter." And, well, as you said, Max, I don't want to minimize what you said here on your tweet, but you said, I've been harassed for more than a decade by a terrorist organization, and I demand justice. And Max, I don't want to speak for you, but you do. You do deserve that justice, sir.
This whole country does, but like specifically, they have doxed friends of mine. They doxed me even though they got the wrong name. They got me run off of Facebook for no reason other than I went to a rally that was, pro-Christian, ostensibly pro-family. They, my God, they targeted. I can't have certain profiles like other people can because once they're in their crosshairs, they come back.
Right.
And they've, they've smeared people I've known to the point that, like, I'm going to be honest with you, Sam. I'm going to mention, name drop somebody that I knew, Andrew Dobson, he was a Charlottesville marcher who wasn't a Nazi. I know that for a fact. He was an edgy libertarian at most. And his doxing and harassment after that event led to his eventual suicide.
Yeah,
Andrew's a family man. Andrew was a good man.
I didn't know it. I didn't.
Maybe he marched with some people that are deemed socially unacceptable, but that hardly necessitated, slandering him so bad. His wife took his children away from him and all of this other stuff. He got investigated. And you can't even blame her, because when all of this pressure comes down, it's just easier to walk away from him. It's awful.
Right.
And I've known friends, Sam, that have gone mad, literally just gone mad to the point that I think they're unreasonable. So yeah, us living in the oppression of this violent terrorist organization known as Antifa, well, now it's time for that to stop. We're in a war on terror, Sam. And they're a terror group.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Good evening, Apex.
Hi, Vic.
And actually, I would just say hello because it's still not really a good evening. But yeah.
Hey, look, it's always a good evening under the Lord's grace, my friend.
Hey, you're breathing.
That is true.
Better than it could be.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah.
That's true. We're live. Are we live?
We are live.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hi guys. Hi chat.
Yeah, we're live.
Do it live.
What's up? I like the new setup, Max. I'm sorry I haven't been here in so long, guys. You guys know me. Things going on and stuff. But yeah, I think about you guys all the time, and I check in on you. I don't chat very much, but glad you guys are still fucking keeping on, But
Yeah.
hold on. I do have to push back a little bit, guys. Just from my my own little gamma corner of the world over here, and not too much. I don't want to push back too much, but I do. My only real goal is to put a speed bump on a lot of the rhetoric going on right now. Antifa is a terrorist organization. They have been a terrorist organization for a decade or more at this point, right? We all know that. That's been happening for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that should be the primary focus. I don't think we should lose focus on that, but I think there's so much going on right now. And it is so... The main reason I even wanted to come on here tonight, Sam, I've avoided all of this stuff. I've tried to avoid politics in general. I've just tried to get my life together. But I live in the middle of fuck nowhere. None of the internet things that I've engaged in the entire time I've known you have ever intersected with my real life or my job or any of that. But I have coworkers, subordinates of mine. Yeah, 19, 20-year-olds that are saying things.
Not surprising.
Well, it's both sides of the spectrum within the same building. And they, I know these kids. They're good kids for the most part. But they, cutting through how they've gotten to what they believe and what they're espousing is treacherous, man. It is so fucking it's so well orchestrated.
I get where you're going and why you said it's a bit of pushback, and I actually understand, because I do think that what I'm talking about when I say that the thing that we needed, I said this last week, obviously you weren't here for that, but I said that the violent rhetoric is what needs to stop and people need to be punished for. And so I feel that this is a step towards that. I don't care about some 19-year-old popping off at work. I don't even think the firing thing that's not even my jam. I understand why people are doing it. I'm not going to be the faggot that says, oh, we can't do that. But my jam has been more a couple of things. One is, and this is also true of Core, formerly of Bits and Bones, you know Core.
Yeah.
We're pushing for legislators to understand how these platforms have pushed these narratives and used the platform to bully people like us out of the conversation. And because I think in some cases, what Twitch in particular, Again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, but it does brush up against cartel-like behavior. And these boomer politicians, not only are they boomers, so they probably don't have the best understanding of tech, but then you also run the problem that politicians they have a lot to deal with, right? Like they're just generally having to deal with all of these issues. For them to understand the complexities of how the Twitch platform works is kind of absurd.
Yeah.
But we can definitely help them understand how this radicalization is festering on that platform, or at least that it is. And also, again, I just want people who are making actual threats and acting in violent ways, being criminal, to be held to account for their actions, because that's the only way this is going to stop. And I don't immune the right from that either. Because the motherfuckers pretending that there has not been right-wing terrorism in recent years are lying.
Insane. Yeah, it's insane.
Lying.
Well, and
themselves or to the world, either one. They either know that they're lying or they don't know. But there have been all kinds of and it's always from a fraction of a percent of the total population of people.
Right.
And it is,
keep that in mind.
And it
Even
is
the
literally
ones espousing stuff we don't like aren't necessarily violent or somebody you would want locked up.
Yeah, it's been a literal pendulum. And Sammy, real quick before, I know you want to say something. Actually, go ahead and say it because I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, no. What I was going to say is in regards to the firings, because my friend Josh from American Watchmen, he and I have actually gone back and forth, and we've had a bit like a heated, debate / shouting match via voice messages, and part of that is on me. I will admit that. Because he doesn't think anyone should be fired from their jobs, even like in the medical profession. And I do think that some of these firings are absurd, like if you're criticizing Charlie Kirk. However, where I draw the line is particularly in healthcare, because if you're saying that, like, if you're celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and also saying that, like, other MAGA people deserve to die, and you're in healthcare, well, then what's to stop some nurse
there's an implicit
something
problem as well.
Yeah. What if I'm a fucking patient, man, and you happen to hear me saying that or you see me wearing a fucking MAGA hat when I walk in before I take it off and go in for surgery? What are you going to do then?
Right.
Worse, you confuse me for one because you're so wrapped up in this crap.
Exactly.
Right. Right. And so, like, Josh, I really do hope you're watching, because this is my exact point.
If he is, I do want to give him credit, though, Sam, because that was his position prior to this as well. He was saying that the cancellations and firings were bad when it was happening to the right wing, even though he's not of the right wing. So I do want to give him credit for he's at least consistent.
Sure, yeah. At least he is consistent, but and I do give him credit for that. But, like, for me, especially as someone who has to deal with the medical establishment a lot more than other people do, more, and I both do.
More than most, for sure.
Yeah, more than most. And look, I've never said anything like
you shouldn't have to have that fear when you walk into your doctor appointment that somebody will treat you differently because of what you believe. I agree with you.
Not even treat me differently, literally, Max, my thought is, okay, if I have to go in for a procedure, even if it's minor, am I going to get some doctor who is just going to, like, open me up on the table, let me bleed out, and then say, oops, there were medical complications, and so,
yeah, it's almost like, how prominent of a figure do you have to become to make enough money to establish a well enough relationship with a doctor or a surgeon or a group of doctors and surgeons to know that you're safe? You know what I mean? Like, if you're politically motivated,
right,
even a little bit in this day and age, man, that is fucking scary. You can't be vocal without worrying about All of these things. Am I too loud? Can you guys hear? Am I too loud? Sorry.
Well, I can hear you. You're coming in fine.
Okay, good.
Perfectly.
I thought it was.
But
clipping.
yeah, no, like, no, not at all. But no, yeah, literally, that's my only concern. And look, like I've said before, I didn't agree with everything. I didn't agree with everything Charlie said. Like, some of my friends were even let go. But I think we can all agree that, like, compared to us, Charlie was like the most. Even compared to us, like, we've all said way more controversial stuff than Charlie Kirk, who...
Man, look, I didn't like Charlie Kirk at all, to be honest with you. I agreed with a lot of what he said, but I did not like him. I didn't like him for a lot of superficial reasons. And now that he's dead, I unfortunately have the ability to see those were all superficial. It was stupid things that I didn't like about him.
That's where we were last week. So, like, I'm glad to hear you say that, because it's basically that we talked about it, because Sam was kind of beating himself up. He's like, "Well, we criticized him on the air," and I was like, "Yeah, but that shit
a lot of
was
people
all
did.
minor bullshit.
Look,
and it's meaningless."
For me personally, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but it was the kosher conservative shit, the Judeo-Christian. Those two things do not meet in the real world. And for him to be so prominent and push, to be so avidly Christian, but also pro-Israeli government for so many years was like, well, they built Turning Point USA, and I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories running around lately about that. And to be fair, I kind of buy into a lot of them, or not a lot of them, but some of them. Because Charlie, for the first time in his career, did really start to turn on a point in regards to the government of Israel.
That's one that, like, people can't even really question. He definitely, and hey,
yeah,
I somewhat famously, to the three people that watch the show, I also a couple weeks ago said Bibi Netanyahu's speech that he gave, where he said we must take all of Gaza, was way over the line, and and Sam even agreed with me. Is like, we can't support you at all when that's your rhetoric.
Even Craig, even Jewish, even some Jews that we know are like, we're Jewish and we like Israel, but Bibi's going over the line a bit here, man. So,
yeah, and
to quote Craig, this is the kind of shit that'll get us killed.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because Craig is actually less pro-Israel than I am, Sam. I don't know if you knew that.
Unfortunately, it will get us killed in the exact way that Jesus claimed we would, in persecution of his name, for proclaiming the truth. But what I find, like, particularly fascinating is, there's so much going on. Like, I don't know. Did you guys saw the actual, like, footage, right? The different angles and stuff. Unfortunately, I assume.
No, I'm not there and poem over it. I have no desire to do that.
That's unfortunate, because you should. You should bear witness, man. This is the world we live in. This is where we are.
I'm aware.
You can't hide from it, and I understand not wanting to, for gore reasons and stuff like that. I don't want to see it either. But I grew up, Max, we're the same age, bro. We grew up in the rotten.com and Faces of Death era. This is like a rite of passage for us, being able to watch this kind of stuff.
No, it wasn't for me.
Well, maybe not necessarily.
I grew up in an emergency room with a parent that worked there. I watched them die since I was a child. Well, I'm well aware of the world that we live in. I think for a lot of people, it is that wake-up call they needed. I'm well aware.
Same difference is my point. Like, my point of bringing up that stuff is I learned very early the significance of death and how horrifying it can be through video, rotten.com and all those things. Yeah, it was like a weird sort of entertainment, but it was also horrifyingly, grounding as a young human. You know what I mean? And a lot of people experienced that. Not all of us were in the emergency room, but it's the same difference. Yours was a little more visceral, but I would argue it was the same outcome. Sorry, Sammy, go ahead.
I unfortunately, Apex, like I don't know if I've shared this part of the story, but like the day that Charlie got shot, I actually tuned into the live stream of the event that he was doing just because I was literally like just curious. Oh, I haven't tuned into anything Turning Point related, and wonder what Charlie's talking about. And like I shared last week, and I think I've shared this with you, Apex, but I'm not sure if I have. Like, I actually met Charlie via Skype like a long time ago.
You did tell me that for sure.
He was, yeah. So he was like,
the three of us have talked about it before on the air. I'm certain of that. All three of us, yeah.
So like, I wouldn't say I was buddies with him, but like for me personally, to see someone I knew, like even tangentially, like get shot, and for me, it's like I was like, holy, like that. I'm like that still replays in my head. That's been replaying in my head for the last couple days, guys. That
for sure.
That's why I can't necessarily like look at all the close angles yet. I will eventually, and I do agree with you, and I agree with Craig and other people that we should bear witness. But like a lot of us too, though, I want to say, like, a lot of us already have, and we just need time.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, time out real quick. Part of the problem is what we've all bear witness to is super compressed, copied cell phone videos. I mean, Turning Point is a multi-million-dollar company. They had several recording cameras, not live streaming cameras, recording cameras in front of left, in front of right, and behind Charlie that they removed immediately after he got shot. We do not see any of that 4K footage. We've not seen any of that. There's ample video footage to disprove all of these conspiracy theories about different shooters and different angles and all this other shit. But not only was the site, there was no like crime scene lockdown, but they tore the ground up and they concreted over. They put a concrete pad over where Charlie got shot already. That's happened. That's documented. So there's a lot of fucking, what the fuck is this? What is even happening here? But there's people are so distracted. There's so many fucking angles happening.
And there's nothing in that would require me to watch close-ups over and over again.
No, of course not. Why would you? No, that's awful. Well, it's awful shit.
That's what you said, and I said,
I did suggest that you bear witness just to watch. I suggested that you watch it. Yes. I mean, I do think it's important that you see what happened. You shouldn't. Okay, good. That's all I want. That's all I wanted. I didn't mean for you to like watch it over and over or anything. That's not what I meant. I apologize if that's what it sounded. I apologize if that's what it sounded like. No, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what we're saying, dude. Is like we both saw. I unfortunately saw it live in real time. Unfortunately. But no, I do agree that if you haven't seen the footage, like, you do need to at some point.
Well, there's also like the narrative that's being pushed by the FBI. So much of it doesn't make. I mean, there's video footage of the dude jumping off the roof without a rifle, but he stashed it in the woods, fully assembled. It's a 30-06. I mean, the entry wound looks like an exit wound of a smaller caliber. There's so many. You know what I mean? None of it makes any. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Matt. Max, you wanted to say something?
Oh, I just like, because my wife's like, no, I haven't seen it and I'm not going to. And it's just like I say, it's like, I get it. A lot of people are like, you have to grieve my way. You have to experience reality my way. And I get it. That's like personal. People want to share and feel like a shared experience. And I totally get that, but it's like not healthy.
Well, okay, that's fair too. But if you want to just sit back and say, okay, this dude got shot in the neck, and that's the facts, then that's fine too. But there is a lot going on that you will omit yourself from, and I mean, there's a lot of bullshit for sure, as there fucking always is, as there has been since the JFK assassination, fucking 90 years ago or whatever the fuck that was.
I've watched enough friends go mad looking into the abyss to know that I don't necessarily need to follow in their footsteps, and I'm much better served doing things that I do.
Okay, well, that's fine, but you'll never understand. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say it. I just look. I love you guys. I love all of us. I love everybody. I just don't.
Enlightenment and all this crap.
I think we're doomed, guys. That's my point. I think we're doomed.
They're always so enlightened. They want to tell you how doomed they are.
Yeah.
And that you don't know anything. You're just right.
What's that?
No, to me, you're just. I'll never understand.
No.
Fuck out of here.
I didn't. I apologize, man. That's not what I meant at all. I just meant that it's important to, observe what's going on around you. And if you don't want to, that's fine. And if you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. Yeah. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
You just don't want to be part of things, and you just don't want to understand. Exactly. This cocky shit.
What does that mean?
It means you're being arrogant as fuck.
How so?
If you don't want to understand, you just bury your head in the sand, basically. Okay, fine. That's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here on a show. I hosted the 3-hour thing talking about it last week. Where were you?
Not here, and I'm sorry for that.
I'm not going to understand.
No, I apologize, Max. I'll let you guys have your show. Have a good night, and I love you guys.
Thanks for coming on. But
I just didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I get it. All of the people who are doomers feel like nobody understands but me. But it's arrogant, and it's fucking comes off as fucking self-righteous bullshit.
I will say this. I do think that there is something to be said for seeing.
I wasn't saying that there isn't. I'm just saying that you'll never understand. Well, I guess you don't want to be a part of anything. I guess you're just going to bury your head in the sand. Fuck you.
Right. Yeah. No,
And I don't even think I reacted, to be honest with you.
No, I don't think you did either. Look,
I appreciate that he recognized that he ran afoul of me and apologized for it. So I'm not going to harp on it much further than that. But I'm making my case clear if I said what I said. Because, nobody's going to tell me how I process things and that I just don't understand it, and without any pushback.
Well, look, people have been saying that I need to watch the footage again, and I don't want to.
I don't think anybody needs to do fucking anything. I'm not trying to order people. The only way you're going to understand things is my way. Fuck that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's there's no reason to apologize.
It's personal even to him. It's the argument that I didn't like, and the consistency on it. I understand he might not have even realized that he was subtly still saying it, but he was definitely subtly saying, well, then you'll just never understand. And that's okay that you don't want to understand. No, I understand enough. Been at this longer than you, motherfucker.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing, dude, is like, well, not the whole thing, but it is one aspect. Like, for me, it's wild because, like, when I first I don't even know why. I don't know why I'm even bringing this up. But, like, when I first knew of Charlie Kirk, everyone was making fun of Charlie Sheen because that was during the whole Tiger Blood incident, right? And now, like, Charlie Sheen is talking about Charlie Kirk and other well-known public figures who Charlie never even met have been, like, talking at him, and and that's a guy who I knew at one point. Like, it's wild that, like, someone I associated with is now, like, part of the cultural zeitgeist.
That's
I know I've said that.
That's where the arrogant comment comes from, Sam, is because I have borne witness to martyrs before, motherfucker. I've borne witness to friends of mine. I've borne witness to Lavoy fucking Finicum, motherfucker. Nobody even knows his name anymore. I've borne witness. I even mentioned him before he showed up to Andrew Dodson, a friend who was bullied into a fucking suicide over this shit. And you don't get to tell me how I have to process things and that I don't understand. You could say, for a lot of people, they need that, and I'll agree with you. But you don't get to say, oh, well, you'll just never understand. You're just dumb. I've been in the fucking trench.
Yeah.
He was too busy doing other things.
Well, unfortunately, Max, I don't know.
Sorry.
I guess we unfortunately have that. No, it's fine. Like, I'm not.
Oh no, you have to feel this way, or you have to say this, bro. Like, it's literal grief. We're all experiencing grief.
No, and I mean, I know. Well, and I mean, I know you've seen dark shit before, Max. And I hate to say this, but, like, I kind of get it a little more. I kind of get it a little more now.
I watched a guy I knew get shot down in Detroit by a bunch of gangbangers. Maybe he's not a fucking pure-souled martyr, but I seen it. It was a guy I knew. He died right in front of my eyes. So yeah, I have a fucking clue about the world. I'm not some fucking naive Zoomer motherfucker sipping lattes. I've been on the streets. I've been through the hard things in life. And I, unlike him, and that's the difference, and that's why we butt heads, am not a doomer. I have hope. I have faith. I believe things will get better, if not for me, then for the people that I love. I believe in the end. That's the difference between me and him, and I apologize because it's not a personal clash between me and him. It's a philosophical one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even, like, trying to be well, I am optimistic. Like before I came on, like, I was saying, like, the fact that Trump is reacting to like, declaring Antifa, that's the first good news like, that I've heard in, like, literally 7 days. So
yeah, I mean, there's things happening. People are, again, it's like the largest mass awakening towards our side I've ever seen. And basically, if you went by what he was saying today, most of them, it doesn't count and it doesn't matter what they're doing because they don't want to watch the video or study every angle or discuss whether it was a conspiracy or, like, learn about the case and who's behind it. And, oh, my God, let's talk about the Jews. We got to do that nonstop because obviously, fuck, man.
Yeah.
And if you process
Well,
it like that, then you don't understand, and you're just keeping your head in the sand.
look, I do want to.
Would you like
People, I mean, Candace.
She would like to say something. You have to speak.
Please, I'm.
Well, I wanted to try and say it when Apex was here, but I get why I wasn't able to interject. But no, I don't think that everybody needs to see the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I agree with what you and Max say that there are some people that do need to see it. For some, that is the awakening they need. I don't need to see that. I saw that woman get murdered on the subway or bus or whatever it was, and that was enough for me. I've had opportunities.
Yeah.
I could have seen Charlie. I don't want to, and I won't. I don't need to see that. I've heard it described. That's more than enough. I know the world. I know how evil the world is. Jesus Christ, I was 15 when 9/11 happened. Trust me, I know how evil the world can be. I know the reality of the world we live in.
It's a tendency that the doomer types get to be like, but you don't know it as much as I do. And I'm a guy that's been through hell and back and hell and back again. And to tell me that is arrogant. I understand. I understand reality. I understand suffering. I understand the implications of what's happened. All of that does not require me to view any video. You know how many books I've read? You know how many experiences I've had? Fuck, man.
Well, I would also say, and I think this is why I don't want to get too up on my high horse. But like I've had people tell me in recent days that one of the reasons why people I think admire me, I talk to people. You know, I talked to a lot of old friends from Turning Point who they called me because they felt that I was someone who they could just vent to. And one of the things that they've said.
That being said, though, real quick, I just got a very funny mental picture I wanted to share with everybody of Sam on a very tall horse. Continue.
Well, that is funny.
Picture Sam riding a Clydesdale. That's comedy.
That would also be badass too. Not gonna lie.
But then when you're there, you have to say, "Not to get up on my high horse."
This guy cracking jokes. But look, it's no secret that I've been through a lot since basically from the time I was born.
Yeah.
I could be, and more than I have discussed this, I could be one of those.
Because to be fair, since he's not even here to defend himself at this point, I don't want to anyone to get the impression that this man hasn't been through some stuff. Okay, as you know, I've said, he's a friend for years. We had a dispute about philosophy. That doesn't change that, but he has been through a lot. So I'm not trying to say that he hasn't.
Right, and I'm not even saying this specifically about him.
No, but I didn't want that to come across in case anybody was unfamiliar because he hasn't been around in a while. They just see me.
Right.
No, he's a man that has been through a lot. He's a self-made man in a lot of ways, and I do,
sure.
Friend. And what happened here was a philosophical disagreement, and I hope that he doesn't take it personal. But
sure. I guess Mort and I have both talked about this on the show and in private. With all the shit that we've both had to deal with, it would be so easy for either of us to be, doomers. Like, I am embarrassed to even kind of admit this, but like I was I was kind of feeling down like last month because I got like rejected by another woman who I was trying to go out with, and it sucked. I was down in the dumps, and but like I said, I've always, even with all my hangups, like
to the club, and all the women swarmed him, and his heart felt better, and he said, "You know what? I can take my pick. I'll take my time." Right?
That's you're not wrong about that, but like, I'm here, I was here being sad like last month that I'm still 30 and single, and yet like a woman just lost her husband, of 2 kids, and yeah, I mean, like I have some physical pains on occasion.
As I understand it, they've been together for quite a long time too. Considering how young they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never knew her. But
seems like
my heart goes out to
more of a quiet, behind the scenes kind of person up until now. She's been thrust into the spotlight, unfortunately.
But like, yeah, even with my hip, dysplasia, which gives me some pain, sometimes, even with my back pain, even with I don't want to speak on behalf of him, but like Morpheus has to take meds for his stuff. Like like neither of us, we have to deal with stuff daily. Sometimes like even getting out of bed can be physically hard sometimes. But all of that is worth it because I still get to write books every day, and I still get to see my family and friends. Like I get to interact with some pretty famous people on a regular basis. I am very blessed.
It's a wild ride,
and
to your planet.
Yeah.
Like,
and so like, yeah, I have my struggles, but the good in my life outweighs the bad, and part of that is because I have an optimistic outlook. I could be blackpilled and be like, "Oh, I'm handicapped. Life is so horrible for me." And
there was a guy, funny because it's coming up a lot, like because of the Cantwell's gay thing, which we'll talk about later. That's a less serious. But there was a guy when we had that group, the Irregulars, called Broken. You might even remember Broken. He was a British guy. He was in a wheelchair, and he went by Broken because he was in a wheelchair. And he was the biggest doomer I've ever met in my whole life because of it. He basically just said because he's crippled, that God is not, fair, and everything is bad, and we're always going to lose. And like, I was always trying to cheer the guy up, but inevitably he was like, "You guys are just too cheery for me." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then I guess I should tell the end to that story because he hung himself a few months later. He thought the end was nigh. Now, that was in 2017, 2018. And he thought the end of Britain was coming then, that he wouldn't be able to have a life of any kind. And I think that though it's tough, you could still do that in Britain today.
I am glad you.
He was wrong. Like, could he have been alive today? Yes.
I am glad that you bring that up because, like, I've met other disabled people who are doomers like that. And speaking on behalf of more, we both have, and it's like being sucked in by a black hole. you want to get away from people that are negative like that as quickly as you can, because then you'll start to feel shitty and negative. And I'm not into woo-woo shit at all, but there is something to be said for like negative energy versus positive energy.
See, I think that he didn't realize he hit on something deep here, is that my entire presence online has been to counter black pill. Always.
Yes.
That's like my primary objective, at least since 2017 or so. 2017 and before, it was actually smash your internet idols and take down the EE celebrities. But that got old, and I have a few trophies in that regard. But since then, it's been to spread two things: positivity, or at least optimism that in the end we win. But also the other one is awareness of mental health in my own special way.
Yeah. But I mean, and my mom, she's traveling internationally right now. But when I told her about the Charlie, Kirk thing, she basically said that the reason why Charlie initially wanted to talk with me, she thought, was because he recognized in her words that I have a good heart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
wanted that for
no, you got something, man, where people want to talk to you. I noticed that right away. I think everybody has. Anybody that knows you. Just something about you, man. You make friends really easy,
I even I mean, I've been
not even sucking
I
up.
haven't had like a pleasant
True.
I haven't had a pleasant conversation with the Krasensteins, which was a miracle.
And was hilarious.
But well, until they figured out like who I actually was, then they wouldn't then they didn't want to talk to me. So, but that's their problem. Also, yeah, Kraz and Krams. We all know that you guys are in a gay incestuous relationship with each other.
One might call it Cantwellian. It's a level of. There's like
if
gay.
the shoe fits, yeah.
There's like gay. There's like really gay. There's trans, and then there's Christopher Cantwell, the gayest who's ever done it. Sam, I was reading parts of his book today, and I rethinking reading it on the show because I wanted to vomit. It is the most explicit, degenerate fucking thing, but god damn it, it's not bad. It's good writing. You'll probably enjoy it between the parts of him talking about sniffing cum.
Well, Max, if they weren't like suspected of like facilitating like child porn and whatnot, I would say this would be the perfect time for like RTO to make a Pornhub channel so that we could read like erotic. Maybe we ought to start like an OnlyFans page.
I'm certain we can read this. There is two pictures, and they're not explicit at all. The cover and the back cover, and it's the gayest thing you've ever seen. The novella, Sam, it's actually more of a short story, is entitled, what was it? Saving Myself for Marriage. Kinda. And yeah, it's gross.
I bet. So, not to jump around here too much, but I did watch the This Is You episode of the Sam Hyde podcast. And Max, so you're kind of the one who introduced me to Sam Hyde, you and Shmuley. And so my understanding of like Sam Hyde is that he does like a lot of satire, right? That's what I've picked. You know, he does like a lot of ironic comedy, but like for him to do a straight like, you know, like fully serious like a serious episode with no you know, humor. Like I was reading some of the comments like on his YouTube video with that, and everyone was saying like I did not have like a completely serious Sam Hyde in my bingo card at all. So
it's not. I want to say it's not the first time that he's done that, but it is on the largest platform he's ever done it on. So he's definitely spilled his thoughts about modern day events in a completely serious manner. But you would have either had to have been subscribing to his Gumroad or aware of him before. But the Sam Hyde Show, which is the one that you would have seen on Twitter, he's been promoted. He's not been shadow banned on it. So he's trying to make a go of doing like a talk show. And yes, even every episode of that prior has been mostly a bit goofy. He mixes in some seriousness in between. This is the first time in that large of a setting he's ever kind of just let it rip like that. And yeah, it definitely resonated with a lot. It resonated with my wife. It cut through a lot of the bullshit for some people, I think.
Also, Ryan Katsu Rivera is on there. I have interacted with him. He's listen, Gavin McGinnis does not like me because he generally doesn't like people with cerebral palsy. I don't know why, but Ryan's always been a good guy to me, so shout out to him.
I mean, my other literal actual best friend in the world, Jesse from Pod Awful, is friends with him. Literally best friends, actually. Yeah. So,
yes, I know.
We love Ryan. Ryan's dope. And yeah, it's a great fit for him on that show too. And he made some really good points about faith towards the end of the episode. I don't know if everybody watched the whole thing. You did. The Asian gentleman. That's Ryan from Pod Awful. I don't think I've ever seen him be so serious and open about his faith like that in anything either.
No,
yeah.
No, I know him as the guy who, he used to do impressions of Tony Soprano in the Discord that we were in.
Best impressions, man. He does impressions of a lot of Pod Awful goons that will make you die laughing. The dude's just great.
Him explaining who Mersh was to Gavin McGinnis is one of the funniest things I've ever heard, because like Gavin is, for all his faults, I will say that like Gavin admits that he's like an alcoholic and a degenerate, but like for Gavin to be saying that like Mersh needs to get his life together is hilarious.
Also, hey, Ryan was the one that was forced to stand behind Harlan Williams on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And then he had to go fuck a bag of Fritos.
Oh, I did not see that, but I might have to now.
No, Sam Hyde makes Ryan stand behind Harlan Williams while he's interviewing him, and after a while he gets real annoyed and he starts ordering him around, and then Harlan Williams yells right in Ryan's face, and he's like, "Just get out of here! Why don't you go fuck a bag of Fritos?" And then after a while, Ryan comes back and he's like, "Where were you?" And he's like, "Fucking a bag of Fritos, like you told me." But yeah, like his not to aside it, because his bit in that Sam Hyde show about faith and his experience with faith, I think resonated with a lot of people more than just what Sam Hyde said. A lot of people are focused on that opening bit, but
Yeah.
there's a lot to digest in that.
He also said something that like people are kind of bashing him for it. I think it's kind of like unfair, but he did say that like one of the reasons why people are paying attention to the girl who got stabbed is because she's hot. And they perhaps shouldn't, but that's part of the reason why.
Well, he said
and people are getting mad.
He said, "Thank God she was hot, because then they wouldn't pay attention to it."
and people are kind of jumping on, people are kind of like jumping on him for saying that, but like as much as I could say, he's not wrong. Necessarily with the way like the media,
Right.
works and
Media loves
whatnot.
when crime happens to an attractive white girl. They love to show that.
That's what every true crime podcast literally is.
And they all know it too. They're all like, they know. Like I'll even get into obviously the case of our friend Satanic, where his mom also is partially dismissed because she's Hispanic. You know what I mean? As a crime victim, it's not as good of a fucking story, a Hispanic prostitute, as a cute white girl. That's just a fact. That's from the media's point of view. Well, how do you get these kind of stories out to the masses? Through the fucking media.
Unfortunately,
it's a he's pointing out an unfortunate reality of the world we live in. That if she
and that's
an attractive blonde girl, lots of people would have never seen that video, and her name wouldn't be remembered by very many people at all. And that's the problem.
That's literally all. That's literally all he was saying, and I don't like the fact that people are like criticizing him for just stating that very obvious fact. Like, no, you guys are overreacting.
Well, he's in a position to have basically like fuck you money and a platform, so I don't think he cares.
No, I know.
Pushed so far to the edge, the fact that mainstream type talking heads are wagging their finger at him, you think he cares?
No, I just
Sam, collecting a lot of lost and disenfranchised youth and giving them hope. That's what Sam is doing. So he doesn't care what the mainstream, pearl clutchers have to say about anything he has to say. I guarantee it.
Yeah, it's
and he's been trying to get people to find God, and he's been trying to get people to specifically young men and women with autism and things, and trying to get them to better themselves through the Fish Tank Project, which is trash television, but you can't tell me that some of the people didn't come out of there better than they went in.
That's true from the clips I've seen.
You should watch season 1 and 2, the television version. It's on their YouTube channel. I'll link you later. It's actually a really good, wholesome, and fun watch, Sam.
Yeah, no, because I have seen like some of the like 24/7
clips. Yeah. Well, they do is they do an edited final. It's like a television show with graphics and everything, and stuff that you wouldn't have seen from those clips either. And you've watched season 1 and 2. You've seen other reality shows. Where would you rank Fish Tank among reality shows? Is it the best you've ever seen, or is it the worst, or somewhere in the middle? Or
it's closer up to like one of the best.
Yeah. She cried at the end of the first and second one, actually.
Yep. Because both the people I wanted to win won.
Yeah. It's good stuff. And like I say, he's doing the Sam Hyde show. They're talking, even in the more comedic previous episodes, Sam, they're talking about serious topics as well. And It's really an extension of Hyde Wars, which is what I was talking about when you want to talk about Sam breaking character and being serious. That was basically Hyde Wars mostly. And a lot of it was self-motivational. A lot of it was about keeping hope, keeping, whatever drives you. And to do the best for yourself that you can. And that's the mentality I've always taken forward. And so, yeah, that's kind of why I freaked out earlier. I have a natural revulsion to doomerism. Sam, I apologize.
No, you and I both do, Max. That's why I was kind of sharing like my whole
Even
story.
though I
Like
understand where it comes from more than most people might think.
As do I.
I'm not sympathetic to his position either.
I'm not unsympathetic either, right? But it's like what I'm saying though, dude, is like it would be so easy, almost too easy for like Morthus and I to be doomers, right? Like that would be the easiest. That would be the easy thing.
Well, but it's more
right.
than
But
you can't. I understand the doomer's mindset is that you can't hold back the night forever. Eventually, night's gonna fall. Don't you all see? And I get that it is. Night will fall. Two things for that. One, night doesn't need to fall right this moment. We can hold it back, and we can hold it back for a few more precious moments of light. Two, even if night falls, the sun will rise. That's why I'm not a doomer.
Exactly. Night will fall, but as cheesy as it may sound, to quote a Batman movie, the darkest is just before the dawn. And I know, oh, he's quoting Batman. How cheesy! But it's true. I do have a bit of...
Marcus Aurelius is the emperor. You know that? Of Rome. He wrote a book called Meditation.
Yeah.
A lot of people like it. Some people kind of simp for it a little too much. It's a good read, though. And he talks extensively in that book about facing the night, facing down the inevitable decline of the world around you. Entropy is what this force is called. Entropy is real. Yes, things decay. Over time, things change, get better, get worse. This is all true. You cannot hold the night back forever, but you can hold it back right now. And you can take a look around and say, you know what? It's not night. I have things I can see a little bit, and you can try and push harder. Or, I don't know. See, that's what it is he's like, well, you just don't want to, know what's going on. And I would argue that you are looking for an easy end to all the problems that's not coming.
Right.
Even if you don't think it'll be the good one, the doomer is seeking the big happening, whatever it is, right? Because then something will change. But the truth is, entropy is not so extravagant as this. Not historically.
I do have some more good news from a friend of show, Jed, who was on last week. Although Rumble Studios being frozen again, so I will be.
Rumble is frozen. That means Sam's gonna go bye-bye. And I'm going to be here all alone. Well, I've been using too many big words this week, and I haven't met my retard quota. So this is like the perfect time. Let me tell you all about the Rabbit Army.
Oh, no.
See, I got these bunnies, and I've been, what I've been doing is I've been acclimatizing the bunnies to my presence, trying to become their leader so that we can fight the turkeys.
Well, I have no idea what that was. I mean,
well, I've been carrying carrots around in my pockets now, Sam. You see, just in case I run across one of these buddies, so that they know I'm the dude.
well, Max, I told you that like you need to eat those carrots to help your night vision, though, dude. Like that.
Oh
That's
no,
why I told you to.
I see fine. I see in the dark like a champ because I have all these carrots in my pocket.
That's not how it works. Just,
Happy to see you. It's a carrot.
Oh my god.
So I can train my buddy Ernie. So we can fight
but
the gang. We're gonna win.
Would you please let him talk?
Go ahead, Sam.
no, I actually do have some good breaking news from friend of show Jed. Well, he sent this to me rather. It's not from him, but I guess well,
Yes.
CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit are requested to testify before Congress on political radicalization of their platforms after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Max,
Yeah, I'm happy to let you know, Sam.
You called
that
you called for that last week.
I did, and I'm happy to let you know, Sam, that Cora and I have been planning for something like this to happen inevitably one day, and we have the perfect strategy. He's already engaged in it. What you got to do is you got to call your representative, and you got to explain to them what Twitch is and why this is important to you. That these people on Twitch are allowed to call for these violent actions and violent threats like this without any repercussions, and yet other people are banned for their political opinions, and that you don't think this is okay, and that you suspect it might be illegal. But you don't know because you're not a lawyer. Call them, be very polite, explain anything they need explained, tell them the relevant information, and thank them very politely, and you might just have a bigger impact than you think. Call your congressman. Tell them Twitch is full of radicals, and maybe they should look into Twitch's business practices over who it bans and why. That's my public service announcement, Sam. And I feel like that this is more fair game than getting people fired, too. And it's more justifiable, morally correct, etc., and not as faggoty.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, I don't know if I just thought this hard or if I had thought this or if I actually said it out loud, but like I do want to point out that like for all the people complaining, oh my God, Trump's getting people fired from their jobs for criticizing Charlie Kirk. Well, Matt Walsh, who I usually disagree with, even he was saying that like Pam Bondi going after Office Max was he didn't use the word retarded, but that's how I read it. So I will say that like Pam Bondi going after like an Office Max because they printed like anti Charlie Kirk material is pretty retarded.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not so comfortable doing that kind of thing. I don't like going after somebody's livelihood personally. I'm not judging people for what they're going to do, but I do think that this is something you can do. You're not getting anybody fired here. You're calling a congressman to talk about an issue that affects us. And now with Antifa labeled as a terror group, you can absolutely say that Hassan has been promoting terrorist propaganda for years. If it's questionable before this, he has absolutely been seen in person on camera on his stream with Antifa, proudly waving their flags. So he has been promoting terrorist propaganda on this platform for years. That's what you're calling the congressman about. You're not calling to bitch about who said what or who makes you mad. guys like Destiny, Hassan, and others, Mike from PA is another one, have been openly promoting terrorist propaganda on this platform for decades. The same platform bans people, including the president, by the way. Donald Trump was banned by Twitch for way less than that. Yeah, I think it's fair game to call your congressman, explain to them how this works, and hopefully they go into the committee. Now, in my case, why did I say Core did and I didn't? Well, if I call my congressman, he's actually pretty woke, so it's not going to help. However, we have local elections coming up, so he probably won't be my congressman much longer. Regardless, you want to call, if your congressman is a Republican especially, but even if they're a Democrat, you might want to give them an earful about Twitch, Reddit, and other platforms, but especially Twitch. It's the one a lot of us in the streaming world know the most about. And tell them what you think about now what is legally terroristic propaganda. Sam, I was going to suggest that in celebration we play the song that Antifa made called Turfs Are Trash because it expresses how violent they actually are. But I don't want to get banned for playing terror propaganda.
Well, we're not.
Enjoy it though. I ironically enjoy the song because it's one, a good song, and the guy's a good musician, and two, he is so casual about the violence he wants to commit on regular women for regular beliefs that it really encapsulates Antifa in like a nutshell.
Well, we're not on YouTube, so I mean, we're on.
Oh, I mean, okay, it's for educational purposes, and we are being critical of it, right? Should I send you to Turfs Are Trash? Have you heard that song before, Sam? Have I played you Turfs Are Trash?
No, that's kind of why I want to like listen to it. If I'm being
just
honest,
go on YouTube, type in "Turfs Are Trash," and it's a guy with a guitar and an Antifa flag behind him. It's probably the first thing you'll find. It's a terrible song lyrically. Like what he literally says that they're gonna curb stomp women for misgendering trannies. It's terrible. It's an awful song. We do not endorse it. I'm saying I've always thought it was funny that this is the propaganda that they put out. They consider art. But that's just me. If you're sensitive to threats of violence, well, they're Antifa. That's what they're going to do. So you might want to be prepared because, yeah, the song literally includes the lyrics, "You're going to get curb stomped," and things like that.
Restorative Justice is the individual?
Restorative Justice is the band. Yep. They're going to restore some justice by stomping on women's heads. Bags. To even,
let me...
Yeah. Sam,
alrighty, let me...
I haven't heard this before. Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
All right, let's see what this is.
One, two, three, four.
Got funky little bass guy, right?
Use the right words when you're talking to people and you know the ones that they prefer. It's not that complicated to use respectful language. It's the least you can do. And if you don't, we know the truth about you and your loyalty to patriarchy, your false feminism, hydromisogyny. Turfs are trash! Turfs are trash! Traditional gender binary. We won't stand for trans exclusionary feminism. There's nothing radical about tradition.
It's catchy.
It gets worse.
If you intentionally misgender anybody, you're a sexless piece of trash. Deserves a brick to the teeth. Equality is for everybody. You got a lot of nerve coming around with that swerve talk, turf talk. Gonna get the sidewalk curb stomp. Because turfs are trash! Turfs are trash! Yeah! And we won't stand for trans exclusionary feminism. There's nothing radical about traditional gender binaries. We won't stand for trans exclusionary feminism. There's nothing radical about traditional gender binaries. Turfs are trash. Turfs are trash. 2, 3, 4. Turfs are trash. Turfs are trash. Turfs are trash. And we won't stand for trans exclusionary feminism. There's nothing radical about traditional gender binaries. Turfs are trash. Turfs are trash. Turfs are trash.
Well, I guess we are doing. I guess that is the equivalent of like a music segment on the late night. You know, we do a late night show, so
One of those
that
guys
was
is dead. I'm not sure which one, but he did it to himself. Anyway, though, that's an example of the type of violent propaganda that they so casually flood all over the fucking internet and suffer no repercussions for. Whereas if we espouse a basic bitch conservative position, or even espouse support for the mainstream presidential candidate who won, we get banned. So it's I don't.
yeah.
Any of these people getting banned. I'm not crying for any of these people getting fired. I ain't gonna get you fired, and I ain't. Well, I will report violent threats, but I'm not reporting people just for having an opinion. But otherwise,
Right, and
yeah, I do think that the people who put out violent propaganda in the name of Antifa or other left-wing violent organizations should be treated in the same way that the Black Panthers got treated. And by the way, the Black Panthers were far less of a violent terrorist organization than Antifa is on a Tuesday in their entire existence.
yes.
And especially the modern Panthers, who I have nothing but fucking respect for. I know a couple people personally. So I'm not out here saying all left-wing organizations need to be torn down. I'm saying if you're espousing violent propaganda, we need to go just like with the Weather Underground, just like with domestic terrorism in the 90s for a lot of right-wing organizations. They burned those children at Waco over domestic terrorism, allegedly. Why can't we just bring some of these college blue-haired, nose-face-pierced fucking freaks in and ask them, why do you think it's okay to say to kill people online?
Yeah.
Not a lot to add. And if Pam Bondi wants to talk about hate speech, then she's useless. Get rid of her.
Yeah, well, Pam's kind of been disappointing a lot of us lately.
Well, if she wants to use this
Even-
way just to arrest some fucking Palestinian protesters, then she's useless. I don't care about that. I care about Antifa, who regularly not only does violent propaganda like you just saw. I'll dig out more. I have plenty of examples of Antifa violence. They've been, again, harassing me personally for years. I got banned off of Facebook because they brigaded my account. I didn't even break any rules. Facebook just banned me because so many people reported me.
I've shared this with you before. I had Dan Sandini on the show, or used to regularly. He was assistant he was a citizen journalist out of Portland who, he lives here in Florida now. I've met him in person, but he used to get attacked by Antifa all the time. Literally. And, like they are a terrorist organization. So like if you're going to complain that, oh, the right is doing cancel culture. No. We just want terrorist scumbags to be held to a higher standard than they have been in the past, which is...
I've always been under the belief that I shouldn't say anything violent because A, I don't believe that way, I guess, but B, you'll get in trouble. I've had friends. We even had a guy around not that long ago, not to name any names, who otherwise was fine, but he made a very specific threat. Or he might have been just blowing off steam, but like, I don't fuck with that shit. That's some Fed shit. That's some, I don't like, go get help.
Yeah.
I told him, and I banned him from the server. And that's because we know we'll get fucked for that kind of shit.
Right.
We've always had that kind of almost paranoia on the right about it. They feel, I wanted to play that song just because they feel so fucking comfortable making these threats. Like, if you didn't grasp what he was saying in the song, audience, I want to make sure it's clear. He said that trans exclusionary radical feminists, people like J.K. Rowling, who simply believe in having women's bathrooms but are otherwise far left, deserve to be curb stomped to death for misgendering a trans person. That's what the song's about.
There is actually, I want to give a shout out to the Free Press. They did a very good 8-part documentary, like podcast series on J.K. Rowling and all the terroristic threats against her and her story too. Which
this predates. By the way, I want to point out that song. Nobody knew what a TERF was when they said it, except for them.
Right.
And then when J.K. Rowling came in and said, a couple different things, then you started to hear her get called a TERF, and it became a much more mainstream term. But Sam, I just wanted to be clear to people the severity. They wanted to murder TERFs before a normal person would have ever heard that term by years. They wanted to murder people like J.K. Rowling in the street. That's what he said. And in the song.
And also, I want to say this too. We are not
uncritically playing that piece. I just want to point out we are very critically playing that piece for educational purposes that I don't think regular people realize how fucking casually these Antifa will threaten your life.
Yeah. No, I would, yeah, for sure. Well, and I know Maxine, being somewhat of a Harry Potter fan, will understand and, appreciate this. But like J.K. Rowling in the podcast, she talked about how she was unfairly criticized by the religious right, who thought that Harry Potter was trying to
not
get kid.
For her, but she got a little of that in the religious community she grew up in. Not from her dad watched movies with her. He was cool. But some people in the church, let's say, would say it was witchcraft and promoting devil stuff.
And so and so J.K. Rowling in this podcast, which I will link to you guys if you guys haven't listened to it, because it is worth it. But one of the things that Rowling said, which even like struck a chord with me, she said, although the religious right never liked me, they never directly threatened me, unlike the trans radicals out there.
Sure,
and
I probably crazies that said things here and there, but not directly at her or a credible threat of any kind. It makes a lot of sense that that would be the case. Yeah.
And that was her point when she said that in the podcast, and that really struck a chord with me. It's like, wow, like here's a liberal woman who doesn't necessarily like Milo or doesn't necessarily like the right, but she at least recognized that like more conservative people are not threatening, her directly.
Well, she must also realize at this point that there are people obviously directly allying with her in her fight for what she considers to be feminism, by the way. I want to point that out.
Right.
That's the allies she's finding for her brand of feminism are basically just lesbians and right-wingers. That's the defenders of, I guess, turfdom is lesbians and right-wingers. And that's why they hate them. That's why they wrote that song, because they said that back then too. That's why they hate them.
Which, like, honestly, I know.
Is it fair to call that song hate speech? It's targeted at a very specific demographic of people.
I would say so. I would say so. Yes.
Yeah. So it's not just violent propaganda. It's hate speech. And they just post this shit. Like I said, that song has been on YouTube in some form for 15 years. And it's just one.
Yeah,
I find others, but it's the one. First of all, the reason I picked that one is because it's a listenable enough song. And it makes my point that it's violent. It's terrible. It's targeted, again, at somebody like J.K. Rowling, who, again, not to speak for you again, but my wife had at times even been cautious about J.K. Rowling saying weird liberal stuff in the past, right? She was a little like, oh, I don't like she's kind of talking about some characters changing genders or some stuff. That's weird, but that's not in the books anyway. And she was just kind of like, whatever. But when she saw the attacks on this woman and the way that they hate her for a story that is really not offensive in the least, and that they worship is basically, it was their Bible. We would quote the Bible at them and they would quote back Harry Potter. Which is weird. Not something you did. I'm just saying the lefties that liked it did. But then she's still sitting here saying, well, I don't feel strongly about her opinions one way or the other, and I still like Harry Potter. And I'm like, that's okay. And then the Hogwarts game come out. I mean, you want to play the Hogwarts game? And that's why that game did good, because so many people didn't give a shit either way. Normally.
I was never a big Harry Potter fan, although I did read the books and I did enjoy them. I was
Somebody just out there is gonna find a picture of Sam as Harry Potter for Halloween, and I'm gonna bust his balls. You look like
I
you've
think
been
I
Harry
actually
Potter for Halloween at least once.
I
No?
probably was actually.
He's
But
like, "Don't call me
but
out
no,
like As you would make an adorable Harry Potter. I'm picturing like 10-year-old Sam in his wheelchair with that fucking scarf on and a little paint on like lightning bolt. Yeah, he would be adorable.
I believe I was like 7, 8 when the Sorcerer's Stone
imagine
came
a
out.
cute little 17-year-old Sam. Every
Anyway,
time I'm going to bring it up.
I bought Hogwarts Legacy as honestly a major fuck you to all the people trying to cancel J.K. Rowling, and then it wound up being like a ton of fun.
I haven't seen the movies or read the books at all, but I had fun with that game, bullying people.
Oh yeah,
I took that bitch's marbles and I laughed in her face. That was hilarious. She got so mad at me. But she was mad because I was the snake. Which one?
Slytherin.
Slytherin. I put in Slytherin, and then when I got, I was like, I don't know what's the difference. And then I got there, and I was like, yo, the architecture in this place is pretty chill. And then I started meeting all my Slytherin homies, and they were like, yo, this place is so gay, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's fucking queer as shit. So yeah, it turns out I'm Slytherin, Sam.
That does not surprise me at all.
Although I think I freaked out because I used all them death curses on those dudes. She had like a heart attack because I was using the death spell.
Well, Maxine honestly should not be surprised that you're a Slytherin either. I hope she's not.
She's not. She said it fit. She just rolled eyes about it. It was confirmation of what she had always known. And then I started bullying. It's like, you're worse than I thought. And I was like, yeah, they're my magic marbles, bitch. I went around getting them. The fuck I'm going to give them to you? What are you going to give me? A couple of coins? Look, I'll go use that death curse, kill like 20 dudes, and take all their coins. I get way more coins that way, bitch. Ow. But those are the only magic marbles in the game, so I'm keeping them.
Well, like that, that's a way to do side quests, I guess.
Yeah, I got all kinds of cool knickknacks because the kid was like, please help me get my thing back from the bullies. And I'm like, yeah, where's that? And then I go get it, and then they're like, oh, I can have it back. And I'm like, no, what are you, dumb? I came for the experience points, dummy.
Yeah.
Now, where's that magic broom at? I'm about to fly out there and use some death curses on a motherfucker. Or what's the other? I like the one that makes them suffer. What's that one?
Yeah.
Cruciatus curse.
Cruciatus. Yeah, she freaked out that I was using that left and right.
You know what's funny is people got really some of my friends got really irritated with me because when I was playing RDR2, I played Arthur with high honor, but when it switched to John, I went completely like just low honor, like as fast as possible. Because why not?
Hey Sam, you know how? Oh my God! Spoilers for Red Dead 2 for the one guy that's never played it. You know how he like dies of consumption? You know, he's got the TB.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like this guy I know, Cantwell. He's got AIDS. He's gonna die from it slowly over time. Only there's gonna be no redemption for him. Probably a lot more dick though. So that's an upside, I guess.
Cantwell is a lot more like Micah in the game, if you want to be honest. So like, yeah, no one has sympathy for him.
Motherfucker got arrested for strangling a guy in meth, and I was the only one that covered it. So I figured. I said to myself, Max, there's never going to be another Cantwell blow up moment where he gets the kind of attention like that again. And I resigned myself to I was going to cover basically his trial. And I woke up. It was this day after the Charlie Kirk thing. And I just, like I always do, every once in a while, I check to see if there's any more pages on Cantwell's thread on Kiwi Farms. Because that means he said something, right? And I've been waiting to see what's going to happen with his court case. I go on there. It was at page 52 the last time I checked, Sam, and it had been stuck there for about 3 months. If you go on it right now, it's in the 80s. And by the time I went to see it, it was in the 70s. And I had to read, there was 36 pages, 36 or 37 pages of a story that he wrote. And that story is the story of how gay he is. Cantwell, one of the most
Interesting.
notorious homophobes and white nationalists in modern American history, also known as the crying Nazi of Charlottesville, finally admitted to what I said was true all along, that he was secretly a gay man. And not only that, published gay erotica, which is the filthiest thing I've ever read and made me want to vomit in my fucking mouth, but we're going to read it on the show, Cringe Coffee House. Not only that, though, Sam, and this I'm not going to do because I'm not listening to it at all under any circumstances. However, he did put out a 20-minute audio recording of himself having sex with a 23, according to the guy, year-old man in the butt, while he does commentary about the sex, like a podcast. So it turns out Cantwell took my idea of gay pornography podcast way too fucking serious, Sam. So that one's dead.
Well,
Yeah.
Max, you memed it into existence, man. I don't know what else to tell
Literally
you.
talking about why he hates the Jews while he's grunting and having sex with another man. And he called it a podcast. And I guess that is sort of a podcast. You know, that's his new bit, right? Is that he just does his podcast while getting fucked in the ass. He could call it Radical Agenda. It would sound exactly the same as it always did. Only with a dick in his mouth. So yeah, I guess he didn't say he had AIDS. What he said was that he's taking PrEP because he's gonna get AIDS because he can't stop having sex with random men. And also, Sam, in this 37-page essay, I'm not kidding you, he also explains how none of this makes him gay. He is a straight man.
Okay, well,
there's nothing straight than having sex with random homosexual men in the butt, huh? He says he's
not at all.
He says bi doesn't exist. And
no.
Because he likes women.
Oh yeah, so he did the Law and Order meme then.
It's the craziest gay cope post I've ever seen. It honestly is the gayest thing I've ever seen. It is way gayer than wearing a pride flag and sucking 20 dicks. Because he's basically doing that and then saying, I'm not gay.
well, the ones who deny it usually are like the biggest homo.
I don't even think it's deny it so much as the ones that like rant and rave all the time, angry. They're mad. See, I'm not mad at gay people. I usually find them funny unless they do something really annoying.
Well, to that end, though,
Sam, how is it not that they put their dicks in each other's butts? That's funny. I can't be mad at that. It's silly.
No, it is.
Yeah.
No, it is funny.
No. Cantwell will tell you all
Also-
about the spell in his novel that won awards on Amazon, Sam. I can't even believe that he got. It's free, so it's free and it's literal gay pornography. So don't feel bad if your numbers don't look like this. But he got close to 8,000 fucking downloads for his gay porn, and he won a fucking award for gay porn.
I mean, shoot. Maybe people are right. Maybe I at least need to include like one sex scene.
Apparently, it needs to be gay.
Nah.
Cantwell's winning for he said Amazon was trying to give him money for winning the award, but he didn't want to out himself, so he deleted his account.
Wah wah.
So by those standards, that means he's like a prolific like a really, and I'm not gonna lie, Sam, it is well written. It's just disgusting. It's well written. It's written like any other of them romance novels. It's just take out one, it's more graphic than most of them, at least that I've seen.
It's smut.
It's smut. It's not just like a Fabio.
No.
But it's like Fabio fucks a dude. No, it's not like that. It's like dirty as shit. However, his prose isn't bad, which is funny because I've always said he's a good writer. And it turns out, who knew, Sam? I told him years ago his calling was making gay porn.
And now he's doing it.
Now he's doing it. Look at him go.
He's doing it both literally and literally.
Well, and then he had to announce, like, it's funny because it's like if you were trying so hard to run away from this, why did you announce you wrote the story later? It's because he's proud of it. And so I'm actually sort of engaging in him with this is why I'm not going to listen to the audio one at all under any circumstance, because it's already gay enough. But look, man, if I don't cover Cantwell writing gay fucking smut, if I don't cover that, my audience of maybe 5 people that have watched me for years will never forgive me.
Well, see, like, I don't, well, and look, I understand that because, like, look, they may only be 5 people, but they've been loyal to you, so
Yeah.
you gotta.
It's to be fair, it's more like 10. But yeah, there's people like Defense and Misery that have been there all along.
No, dude. I mean, I get.
Don't want to hear me talk about Cantwell's gay pornography because he's mine. Josh Moon can think it's his all he wants. I've been covering Cantwell since 2015. Josh Moon didn't even have a website in 2015. Look, you think you, but no, I'm kidding because I'm thankful that he covered this because now thousands of people were making fun of Cantwell again, and I was like, you know, sometimes, and again, this is a minor thing in the grand scheme of things, but it did brighten my day a little bit because it's the most absurd thing happening to somebody that also harassed me for years. And here he is.
Yeah.
Sucking so much dick, he's worried about getting AIDS and taking PrEP. Because he can't stop sucking dick, Sam, so he's got to take PrEP. That's how it is. But he's not gay.
Right. Yeah, and I totally do not like...
If you don't stop sucking dick, you're going to have to take PrEP. You're not going to say, oh, okay, I'll take PrEP. Well, you're going to say, I don't even suck dick in the first place, so not a problem. I hope he says that.
Yeah, no, that's not my problem at all.
Ladies. Mm-hmm.
Now if
he's got a type,
if there's medicine, if there's a medicine I need to take before I shove my face in beaver.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, beavers carry salmonella, Sam.
Really, Maxine? I get the oh my god, your husband's been talking out dicks for.
He got an oh my god for that too.
I got smacked, and dude, she was reading some of it. My god, she thought it was like even you were like, you had to stop a couple times.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm pretty sure it's the gayest thing ever written.
And I only read a small part near the end. So.
Well, can I just say that, like, I think here's the one thing I know for sure about Charlie Kirk. He did have a good sense of humor, and so I feel like with
also thought Cantwell was a piece of shit. That's true.
Yeah.
fact. That's confirmed.
Yeah.
He didn't say piece of shit. But Charlie Kirk thought Chris Cantwell was a piece of shit, more or less. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. No. I actually do.
The other motherfuckers
I
that
actually do
Charlie.
know that. Yeah. No. My point being though is like, is Charlie Kirk did have a sense of humor, and so, first Chris Cantwell gets, is like coping about not being gay or whatever, right? And then Jimmy Kimmel gets shit canned and is coping about that. And Max, since we've been on, I haven't. There's another lefty that's been coping hard just since we started the show. Can I share?
Is it Rosie?
No, but
Well, can I just point out real quick that Rosie looks like a fucking zombie? Go ahead.
Oh, well, she's looked like that for a while, but
it's bad.
No, the Krasencrams.
That was actually my guess. My next guess was going to be the current iteration of Bozo the Clown.
So Brian is coping hard here over Trump's announcement. I am Antifa, meaning I am against fascism. All Americans should be.
Oh my God! So did he just admit he's a terrorist? Based, I guess.
Yes, Max. I think he is. Domestic groups cannot.
It makes it easier when they identify themselves publicly, I guess.
This is like a whole post. This is a whole thread. We started the show with this, folks, and he is spiraling about this. But so Brian, you're saying that Antifa's not a terrorist organization because they're just like an informal group, but yet you were saying that the Proud Boys are most definitely a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
That's
the thing. That's why they keep Antifa the way it is because they'll say the Proud Boys have membership roles. They're a former group, so it's different. But you know what? That's fine. I don't know. It's easy to identify a terrorist from a loosely collected cell, like by, I don't know, saying that they're a member of it, like that, or promoting their symbols, like that black flag or the white flag or the 3 arrows. Learn some Antifa symbols, and hey, now that they're a terrorist organization, Sam, make sure you report people who post Antifa propaganda.
Yeah.
To do
well. Listen, I'm glad that Brian is like identifying himself though. That's very handy. So yeah, I just thought you would like to I just thought you should know, Max, that Brian is now self-identifying as a terrorist.
Yeah, I mean that's unwise. But also is very funny, yeah. I don't know how it shakes out. We just got the announcement today. Obviously, people are going to freak out on the left, and good. They've been calling us all kinds of things like terrorists and Nazis and stuff. I think that when you advocate for actual political violence, that does make you a terrorist. And I think that if you do that there should be consequences. And I don't just mean getting fired from your job. I mean the police or the FBI or whoever should investigate people who are actively posting propaganda that is promoting violent terroristic acts. We've had enough of them in this fucking country. We do need to do something about it. The lefties can scream about gun control all they want, but that wouldn't have stopped the firebomb attack that I haven't forgotten.
No, and it hasn't stopped like any of the knife attacks either.
There's a lot of things that can be done It wouldn't have stopped Charlie Kirk shooting, quite frankly, either, because it was a basic bitch hunting rifle that you might get at Walmart. A 30-06 Remington, Sam. That's one of the most common rifles in America. And they notice when the left says they're not coming for your guns, they always say not coming for your hunting rifles. Well, the Remington, either in 223 or in 30-06, is one of those hunting rifles. In fact, it's the most common one. I mean, some gun guy might check me on the numbers, but it's certain they wouldn't deny very, very common hunting rifle.
Yeah.
If you're shooting deer, you're going to be using a 30-06 single action fucking rifle, almost certainly. That's what this fucking gun was for. So no gun control law that they say they support currently would have prevented this. Also, the kid wouldn't have get tripped any red flag laws. He had no criminal background, not even any mental health history. So all their talk about gun control wouldn't have stopped what happened to Charlie Kirk. I don't even know why they bring it up. But what might stop it is to stop the proliferation of violent terroristic propaganda to young, impressionable minds.
I'll tell you the reason why they're bringing it up, Max. It's because they are trying so desperately. They know that they fucked up. They know that Charlie Kirk has woken a lot of people up, and that they are in panic. They are in panic mode. I've never seen them panicked like this before, Max, because normies more than ever are waking up to just how bad the left is.
That's true, and that's exactly why I guess I had a little reaction earlier towards the idea of being black-pilled, because I have never been so white-pilled by the reaction I've seen from, even as my wife has pointed out previously on the conversation we had, I think yesterday, all over the world, not just here.
It is. It doesn't change the fact that it's fucking awful that it took one of, I would argue, even the very best of us getting fucking assassinated for like normies to wake up the way they have. But Charlie's
thought it could never even happen, and some still don't, even when it's in front of their eyes. But I always knew one thing, and it's like I've been saying, Sam, was that the wake up is not going to be directly just aimed at the far left. I think that there's going to be a reckoning for everybody engaged in violent rhetoric.
Well, listen. Nick Fuentes,
the basis of everything Charlie Kirk stood for was he stood against violent rhetoric every chance he had.
Well, I defended famously. I defended the Penn State chapter of Turning Point when the Groypers were harassing them. I know that Nick Fuentes did a eulogy of to Charlie Kirk. I don't buy that he's being sincere, because he hated Charlie Kirk's guts.
He's an opportunist. That's I'm not even gonna, like, we've said plenty about that guy. We don't trust him. I don't think young men should trust him. But frankly, Sam, younger men aren't listening to us. Our audience is probably more around the 30 to 40 mark. But if you are a younger guy, Nick Fuentes, he's a false teacher. Go look at what he said go actually look in his history if you haven't encountered him before. Go look at the time he got caught watching tranny porn. Go look at the catboy that he had. Go look at how many times he's contradicted himself. You don't have to take my word for it. The guy flip-flops every couple weeks.
Hitler 2. He called himself Hitler 2, 3, and 4 on a stream with Jim.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the guy you want to follow, I mean, good luck to you. But that's small time. He can't even make a fist, but that's an aside. That's more of a personal attack. And I'm not even going to attack. It's not a time for me to sit here and attack. I am gonna make fun of Cantwell, but that's a separate issue. I mean, he's gay as hell. But like Nick Fuentes, look, I've made fun of him ad nauseum. We don't.
Well, no,
You've always
the,
been pointing out not to trust him long before I came around, even.
and the only reason why I bring him up too is because people are saying, oh well, Charlie was only critical of the left, and it's like no, he was, Charlie was, very critical of actual right-wing radicals too.
Yeah, and that's why some of us dissidents maybe had some sore spots for him until he was murdered. I can't be mad at him now. But the sore spot stemmed from the fact that he did denounce people on the right, some of whom deserved it, and some of whom he might not have understood.
Right, and that's what
also evolved on that issue in a lot of ways. So that's not completely fair.
Yeah. Well, and that was my biggest flaw. That was my biggest problem with him, is that I don't think he necessarily disavowed because he truly felt. I felt he disavowed some of us wrongly because he simply didn't understand.
He did it for optics, and
right,
like that. It's understandable, and that wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing that people don't understand is I don't have to adopt somebody's optics, especially if I don't necessarily agree with them 100%. And that's what he was saying. He's like, you guys want to do that, but it makes me look bad, so I'm not associated with it. That's literally what TPUSA's decision about the Unite the Right rally was. They said, we're not going. And people got kicked out for going. And I think rightly so, because nobody was more critical. I was telling people I knew not to go.
Right. Yeah, no, same here.
Voice at the time on my podcast. Unfortunately, I had a guy delay my podcast a week, so it didn't come out until after Charlottesville. But I specifically put out a podcast saying, don't go. It's a trap, basically.
Max, I told people on the podcast, and I'm sure you can still find the audio of it, but on the live stream, I told people not to go to the Capitol on January 20th because I thought it would be I told people who were part of my chapter of the College Republicans. They were like, Sam, we want to go, and I said okay, but like I am disenrolling you from the chapter if you go because I think it's going to be like I think it's going to be a disaster. And nobody from my chapter did, because once they thought it, they were like, yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, like I warned people that I had suspicions about the J6 thing.
In 2019 was straight pride, and I was there, so I'm not opposed to any type of thing, but I just said that the Unite the Right thing, as soon as they invited the Nazis, who have been the National Socialist Movement. Let's talk for a second about the right wing. There's always been this, at least since the 50s, ever-present thing called the National Socialist Movement. Most people don't know what it is, but they would know it as neo-Nazis. They are the official party of neo-Nazis, and they make no bones about that. It's in the name. They are also, as well documented, going as far back as the mid-2000s and even the 90s, a Fed op. When they said they were going to march there, you're an idiot if you go march with the Fed op Nazis. I don't apologize for that, except that, yeah, a friend of mine thought, nah, it's not that bad. He was a libertarian guy, and he said it's a free speech rally. Surely it won't be that bad. And it cost him everything once he got doxxed, and he killed himself.
Yeah.
And he killed himself because of the type of pressure that these Antifa terrorists can apply to you. They apply pressure where it really, really hurts. They take your finances away. They take your ability to get another job away. And now they're crying about it happening to them. Well, I thought this wasn't I thought cancel culture wasn't real. This is just consequences of your actions.
It's not cancel culture. It's consequence culture. Or in the words of the people I've seen who are celebrating Charlie's death, some of them have said stuff like well, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, right? That's kind of the same thing, I guess.
Well, it's similar to the idea of you wouldn't say that to their face, which implies violence. It implies that you can't say it to the other person's face because they won't respond to words with words. And that's why you wouldn't do it, right? I disagree with the very notion of such. I don't think words being responded to with immediate violence is justified in almost any case.
Well, the left is we've been hearing from the left for years that like words are violence, right? That's what
the groundwork they need to lay for stuff like this. Exactly. Yeah. They need to define things as violent. Therefore, they can define us as violent, and they'll define things as Nazis, so they can define you as a violent Nazi. And then when you get murdered in cold blood in front of fucking thousands of witnesses and the whole world, essentially, they'll still sit there and say, well, you're a Nazi, so you deserved it. When they made up the Nazi thing in their own fucking head to begin with.
Yep.
Well, it doesn't seem to be working out for them as much as it did a couple years ago. And I'm okay with that, and that gives me more hope than many things in many years, Sam.
Well, same here. I was always taught growing up that you reap what you sow, and boy, are they reaping what they have sown in a fantastic way. It really is. It really is amazing. So, whoa, jeez. Anyway, though, let's see here if there's anything else breaking. I thought we would have.
We would have what?
I thought we would have other people like joining us on stream, but I guess.
I drove them off because I'm an asshole.
Well, I mean, other than Apex.
Yeah.
There were a few other people.
Technical problem.
Yeah, more had a technical problem, and that's kind of a shame because I know that he had stuff to say tonight.
Well, how's the robot supposed to do the show without power, Sam?
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Let me Nope, still no power. Still no power back, unfortunately. Damn.
Sorry.
So
the turkeys.
Oh, God.
It was mentioned in chat before. I didn't get around to it until now. The turkey would beat a bunny in a 1v1, and that's true. But we're not talking about no 1v1. That's why I got to get all the bunnies. Because there's about 20 turkeys. But by my estimate, there's something like 200 or 300 bunnies.
that's
Now,
I mean,
a turkey versus 100 bunnies? different fucking matchup entirely, sir.
Indeed. Dip. I know Dip said that he wanted to come on like on the Monday podcast, but we weren't we did it too early. But Dip, if you're still in chat and you want to come on, let me know and I'll shoot you the link. Or Max can either way. Jim Medicare has a really good tweet that I think kind of sums up the point of what we're talking about. So, he said, watching the pushback against lunatic leftists this past week has convinced me that cutting off the USAID money and hunting corruption was impactful. If it were even just a few years ago, saying leftists were acting horribly would have been suppressed. Well, the MSM set the narrative. And, well, I can't really disagree with anything he's saying there.
Yeah, I think a lot of like the street soldier level people especially are gonna be affected by that, and they might not even realize that they were getting USAID money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The type of people that answer a flyer, protesters wanted $2,000. They don't necessarily know where that money's coming from, you know?
No, and they never even thought to like ask either. That's the funny thing.
Right.
That's
well, it wouldn't be from USAID. It would be from the organization for the organizing of organizations.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, it's not going to come from USA directly. It's Shell Corporation after Shell Corporation. By the way, we're more than halfway through the show, and I haven't even showed a book. Which, by the way,
oh, you're fired.
Well, shoot, Shmuley said this would happen eventually. But ladies,
you're fired as author of your books.
Well, then Jake Widmer will just take over the series, and he would do a damn.
I like that.
No, I did tell him actually that like
this motherfucker's got backup plans for his series.
Well,
he's like, I give this to the. You know what? That's smart.
Well, shit, dude. After this last week, you know, like I as much as I hate to say it, dude, like I have actually thought, like, well, shit, like
I've been telling people that, you know, I look at all these security flaws and I say I could do a better job protecting a motherfucker. Ain't nobody hired me to protect them.
Yeah, no, yeah.
On the fucking roof is all I'm saying. Why? Roofs are a problem these days. I have a VIP,
but
it's really easy to check a roof.
But Max, roofs are slanted. That's why security people can't get on.
That's right.
That is
45-degree angle. Fuck. Now we can't protect anybody because angles exist. Oh, damn it. Literally,
anyway, though,
ride your wheelchair on those slanted roofs, but you know they're too hard for physically fit guys to walk on.
Yeah, apparently. Anyway, since The Assassin is out, part of the Shadows of Deception saga, which, by the way, people are like, well, Sam, where can I buy the first 3 books on Amazon? But also, if you haven't read the first 3 books, you definitely should. And there's now an
There's
easy
a
and
best way to read them now.
Yes, there
It used
is.
to be kind of hard, guys. You used to have to get all 3, right, and then read them. But Sam fixed that problem for me because he has this cool one now. Look at that shit.
So, Shadows of Deception Volume 1 is in hardcover, and it's, it's got some, like, heft behind it.
I will say, it is unfortunate.
So then you can pick up...
well, it's unfortunate that you haven't been able to promote that one as much because you've put out the other books in that time frame. Didn't it come out so close to Blood Ties?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
And also...
It's a good one to promote because I don't think we promoted that one as much as any of your other books, and it's kind of awesome because it's all 3 of the first ones in one. And hey, if you bought all 3, if you bought all 3 already, well, that just makes them collectible.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, this hardcover is $30.
Which is still less than buying all 3 in paperback.
Yes, yes, I'm actually glad that you bring that up, Max, because people.
And it includes extras, not just the 3 books, but there's an extra in there as well.
Yeah, there's like an extra short story. Yeah, so people bought
into the 4th.
Yeah, so people balk at the price tag because it's $30, and I get it, and I only make like $7 off of the hardcover too.
If I may, sort of, because we talked about this when you were doing the anthology, the idea of doing it at all was kind of like, yeah, that's a cool idea. Why not do it up the best possible, make it a hardcover? And so like,
right,
to make the best product possible, that's why he went hardcover. It's the only one you released in hardcover, right?
I also did Blood Ties, Volume 1 in hardcover, but there is a paperback version, which is actually the version I own of Blood Ties.
Fair,
but
like we could do a paperback of it eventually, but the point of that particular product was for somebody that just wanted the complete collection and to do the best one up possible. That's all I was trying to say.
Right. So the first 3 books are in hardcover. Then we've got Since the Assassin.
That price.
Yes. Think of it this way: it's only like you're only paying $10 per book, which is actually cheaper than each paperback.
And then you can have the complete collection for when the live big budget movie gets made.
Yes. And then book 5, American Inferno, is coming out in 2026. And well, unfortunately, it's probably if you thought that Night of the Vigilante was dark, unfortunately,
up in book 6, it seems like it's going to be almost apocalyptic.
Yeah, well, and part of that is because, well, as much as I hate to say it, Max, the state of the real world feels kind of
I was gonna say, Sam, I have a question about your writing, an honest one. You wrote, obviously, Sins of the Assassin, not trying to spoil anything for the audience. Obviously, it's about a political assassination. We won't get into the details. People can read the book. It's part of the story. But obviously, it weighs heavily that there is a political assassination in the midst of that book, right? And it's not even the first one in your series.
Right.
How does it make you feel to like have a real life event of such magnitude happen shortly after you published the book? Obviously, not like you predicted it or anything, because it was a random out of like it was an idea. I remember you talking. You're like, I got this idea for what book 4 is going to be. It's clearly set up in previous books, so it's been building up for a long time. I'm sorry, just
no. Actually, Max, I'm actually glad that you asked that question. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why it's so weird to me that Charlie got assassinated is because he's the last guy.
Yeah.
This is why I think his death has impact. He's literally the last guy that you would expect for this to happen. And
the only reason exception to that is that he puts himself out very publicly, but many other people also do.
Many other people who are way more controversial too. Look, I would hate it if even if Alex Jones got assassinated. I pray to God that doesn't happen. But if that happened,
people would be able to make.
I would not be as surprised, because I would be like, yeah, I mean it's unfortunate, but Alex himself, said that he thought he might be assassinated one day. And unfortunately, there's no way to say this. I said this on Monday. Book 5 is going to be kind of about Charlie's assassination. I haven't figured out how I'm going to work that in, but I'm working through that.
I'm trying not to spoil the books you're selling, so it all leads there. It all leads to a major assassination, and then that's why I asked the question, is because I know what happens, obviously, in Sins of the Assassin, but I don't know where you're going with it next. But I do know that you even said that this can't possibly not influence it. And it's very clear that there's going to be a major assassination in your series. And now you're stuck in the unenviable position, might I add, of having to write it in the wake of art being imitated by life.
Yes, and not just that, but again, writing about it from the perspective of a guy who I somewhat knew. That's what I'm saying. To a group of us out there, Charlie was not just a public figure. He was. I remember getting phone calls from friends "Hey Sam, I'm at dinner. I'm headed to dinner with Charlie Kirk, and he says hello." Or stuff like that. That's
unifying voice within our movement, even for those of us that didn't agree with him. You are very on the nose there,
right?
And maybe that is why he is the one they targeted more than others, who it might make more sense to people. This one hits right at the heart of many people, and other people outside of it might not even been a part of that. They see it too. They all see it now.
Yeah, they do, and I also think because he was such a unifying force, I think that's why it hits. I think that's why normies, even in Like I even saw it in Australia that like people are having vigils for him, and that's wild.
I know
To
for a
me.
fact that there's a lot of leftists that may even still, they're not changing their positions, but enjoyed debating with him, had fun.
Yes, I I gained major respect today for Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't know if you saw her. Um, she
I,
brought it up in an,
some of it as well. My wife pointed out that, yeah, she was surprised to see it as well.
yeah,
I'm always skeptical of somebody, but I can understand. It did seem like she was emotional.
yeah, and you know, and I know they say that you know you can teach that actress to cry or whatnot. I get that skepticism, but it did not seem fake at all. It seemed like
Well, if you have humanity, it's not hard to have real tears for this situation, I think.
right,
That's why
and
people find it so appalling. Is because it's really easy to shed a very real tear for this tragedy. And some people
yeah,
are screaming in joy and anger at us for grieving and all this stuff, and it's weird, man. It's not normal.
the other thing that's really weird too is I mentioned that Joe Rogan had Charlie Sheen on when the news broke, and I don't know if you listened to to the full podcast yet, but they were talking about the JFK assassination, Max, literally right before this one happened, and and then Charlie said that this is going to be this generation's JFK. Um, I mean, I've heard black people say that this was our generation's MLK moment.
I actually I know quite a few black people who feel exactly that way. Not even just like, oh, he's your MLK, but they're Christian obviously, so they're like, he's our generation's like me too. You know,
That's what I'm
they're
saying. But
included in it
yeah,
instead of it being for somebody else, which is I know lots of Hispanic people that are absolutely heartbroken over it as well.
yeah. I've had lots of guests. Almost everyone in the author community has reached out to me. Um, I talked to Karina at length the other night.
I
She
hope
was heartbroken.
she's doing okay. Everybody,
She
not just her, but
she's
everybody you were talking to in general.
right. Well, no, she reached out. She reached out to me because she knows that I've been there for lots of people that I've tried to be, and so she was like, yeah, she's like, you're asking everyone else how they're doing, but how's Sam doing? So, um, so that meant a lot to me. And so yeah, I mean, it's been a tough week, but it's also like you, I'm white pilled because or I would say optimism pills.
Same thing. The white pill is just
So
hope.
yeah. So and I'm excited honestly about well just in the immediate future about the Cantwell stream, to be honest.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think
It's
it'll be cathartic to laugh about something, and it really is absurd and silly, and it's one of those apolitical situations, right? Because he's just such a big phony pretending to be, I'm the homophobic guy. I hate the gays. He used to threaten to beat up trannies in the streets. Turns out he wanted to sleep with them at the same time. That's just funny.
Yeah.
And we're going to
No,
read
I mean,
gay erotica, which is not just erotica. It's full-on smut.
well, and that's kind of
We're getting through the whole thing just to see. It's 19 pages, Sam, so it's not the end of the world. But it's 19 pages of gay man love with a twink.
and we'll be there to laugh our.
Oh, I retract that. It's 19 pages of completely heterosexual man love with a twink.
So I have to ask, not to ask for like too many details, but like, does he write out the grunts and the groans? Because like I have read some erotica.
I don't even want to say what he wrote about. He wrote about the grossest shit you can imagine. I'm gonna go through it once and once only, and it's gonna be on a stream. Unfortunately, we had a phone call. It was an emergency right as I went on live last night. And
yeah.
So unfortunately, I didn't get to do it then, but I'll probably do it tomorrow a little earlier than I usually. I'd like to do it at like an 8 p.m. time slot because that's good for getting views and things. And yeah, we're going to read Cantwell's Gay Smut. I'm completely heterosexual gay smut. And his 30-page essay explaining why he's not gay no matter how many dicks he takes in his butt.
I mean, I'm looking forward to him like just trying. I'm looking forward to him like trying to explain that logic.
He really spends a lot of the essay on that. Like, it's really important to him that nobody thinks he's gay while he sucks dick.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, a lot of homophobic people like that are like secret. That's the funny thing is like a lot of like actual homophobes.
Sam, spoiler for the show. He thinks, it's in his essay, he thinks I knew that he was on Grindr getting fucked by dudes. Sam. And he based the whole conspiracy on the idea that I knew, and so everybody else knew, and his entire paranoid decade of his life has been spent in fear that I knew he was on Grindr. Sam, if I knew he was on Grindr, I would have told the world immediately. And if I was blackmailing him, then what did I ever ask for? I didn't know.
Money?
I had no idea. He tattled on himself because he thinks I know. Isn't that hilarious? His guilty conscience was like either me or one of the other people he beefed with, but he did sort of reference me almost like he won't mention my name. He's afraid of me. I'm like Voldemort.
You live rent free in his head, though.
Apparently worse than I thought, Sam, because I thought he was well and truly past me, but he thinks I've been keeping a secret to watch him suffer for a decade. Bro, I wanted to see him suffer 10 years ago. I'd have put that shit up. I said he was gay and was going to do gay porn. I can't believe he proved me right. What an idiot. He thought I knew, so he told on himself.
I'm going to own Max by proving him right, damn it.
By writing about how he likes to lick the cum out of the fucking... Never mind.
Oh, so he's one of those, then.
Oh, boy, is he one of those, Sam. Yeah, see, I have to have you for it, obviously, because your facial reactions alone are going to be worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Is this Putin?
So
Yeah. Okay, we got Putin on the line. Putin.
yeah.
Vlad, you there?
Vlad,
Is it me? What name did I choose? What I didn't choose his name. Lotion? What? Pet
Look, it puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hook again.
presentation. I can't read. Okay.
Oh, Pain.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
I was told we had Putin on the line. You are not Putin.
Yeah, is Vladimir Putin.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, must take Ukraine at all costs. Suka bliet.
Okay, since we're on the line, Mr. Putin, I do have to ask. There are rumors circulating that you, in fact, engaged in homosexual activities with Christopher Cantwell via the Grindr app. Is this true?
Suka bliet. You see, he is not homosexual if I am top, and he is bottom. It is job as good Russian to dominate small American weakling. Da, isn't that right? Statue of Stalin. Da. You see, when I press button on statue, it says da. Exactly when I request.
What?
So, Mr. Putin, do you have any ideas or plans in the future to repeal your laws against homosexuality?
Niet, comrade. We need to have these laws against homosexuality to protect the children.
But if you're engaged in butt sex with Cantwell, aren't you breaking the law?
Niet, comrade. It's not sex. It's domination, rape, punishment, suka bliet.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
We do it in military all day.
One more question, if you will, Mr. Putin. Do you plan to put the Pussycat Dolls to death, or what's going to happen with? So not the Pussycat Dolls. Pussy Riot. That's it. Pussy Riot. That's the band over there, right? Yeah, Pussy Riot. You plan to put them to death for being gay, or what?
Da, we're going to kill them big time. We're going to feed them to my favorite bear, Bosco.
Well, that sounds like a fitting end for Pussy Riot. One more thing.
Yeah.
How was your last sexual encounter with Zelensky?
Da, cannot get close enough to Zelensky to show him who is real man. Yet, if could, would make him bottom boy lower than American pig dog Cantwell.
Well, it feels like if he just give you his butthole, the war might end then, huh?
Yet, he must become the skibbity toilet, as you American dogs say.
Ah, makes sense. Well, thanks,
Mega. Thanks. Now we have Mr. Payne on the line, and as I understand it, you wanted to come on.
Like one of them gays.
Well, Wayne said he wanted to come on Monday's show to talk out Charlie. So the floor is yours, sir.
Yes, Mr. Payne, tell us more.
I looked into Charlie Kirk, and he seems to be a normal Christian with normal Christian opinions and ideals.
Wait a minute.
I've only gone surface level, but he seems to be a normal person, and I didn't see him advocate for violence ever.
Hold on, Sam. Are you putting DEI hires on the show?
I mean, no, but I would be the biggest DEI hire here.
That's true. I'm only retarded. He's crippled. He's got me beat. But I was just wondering because did I just hear a black man say Charlie Kirk isn't the biggest deal in the world? I thought he was a horrible racist, sir.
Well, I haven't heard him say anything racist yet. He didn't even make the N-word jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
no.
would have been upset if you did, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't even want you to drink. He's just a really prude-ish guy. No drinking, no porn, young man. Stop watching porn, and maybe these women will date you.
It's horrific, right?
Wow, oh boy. And then he talked. I watched one of his videos, and like he criticized me like several times, but then he like said something where I did it right, where I don't drink. And then he talked shit on the women for being whores. I mean, he didn't say that. I said it, but you get the point.
Right. Because if any of us say it, it sounds more like that. But when he said it, it sounded nice.
Yeah, maybe you don't need to be on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, hey, you actually have more value as a person than to do what you're doing. And that sounds a lot better than when we say it, because we'd be like, yo, you's a hoe.
In fact, though, like in all seriousness, in regards to that specific thing, I guess my biggest challenge to Charlie Kirk was he wouldn't debate Brandy Love because she's a porn star. She's conservative, but she's a porn star, and so I was like, "Yo, Charlie, at least have a conversation with her."
That was the last time we talked about Charlie on the air, I think, is because she got kicked out of a TPUSA event. And I said that with you that the Christian thing to do is accept that some people can have a second chance and not hold their past against them necessarily.
Right, and to also
that was maybe not the right call on the part of TPUSA. But as far as I remember, that wasn't even Charlie's direct call.
Right. I was just saying though, like
you're correct about that.
Right. I just said that I was like, yeah, I think you two would have I think you two should at least like have a conversation. Which she wrote a eulogy to Charlie, and that's basically what she said. She said, I wish we had just been able to meet in person and talk. So and it's funny because people want me to have her on the show, and I would, but I'm not going to pay for her OnlyFans to get into her DMs. So someone else can extend the someone else can extend the invite to the show that way.
We got any simps who pay for OnlyFans here?
I would reprimand them heartily.
Okay.
Well, damn, Max, we
a certain kind of fan base, Sam, and it is not the kind that will be paying for OnlyFans. At least I hope not. You filthy heathens out there, I'm talking to you.
We need them to we need them to pay for it on our behalf though, for this one instance.
Is it worth their soul, Sam?
That is a good question, Sam.
No, but
I love putting in situations.
Okay, so which is more worth their soul, Sam? That an OnlyFans just so you can give it to us, or a nice cold drink of alcohol at a nice bar with a nice guy behind the counter or whatever?
Well, I drink.
You're picking up guys. Cantwell's picking up guys. Now he's picking. What's going on?
No, I'm referencing a movie.
Oh, I thought because you said a nice. I was gonna think. Oh, you.
I forgot bartender. I forgot the word bartender. I'm referencing that movie where a guy asks for a drink, And the guy brings him a drink and says, "How much do I owe you?" And he's like, "Your soul."
Okay.
Oh, The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining.
None of us got it, but what I did think is you were going to say out to a bar with a nice girl, and that would be much better. I think even Charlie Kirk would agree that that's better than paying for OnlyFans.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you to drink. If you're having a beer with a nice girl, he would probably be like, well, that's not so bad.
Probably not.
Probably not.
One thing I am
with that nice girl, throw up all over and make a fool out of yourself, I'm gonna laugh at you. But I've been that guy too. My brother was just talking about one time when I got so drunk I peed on the couch. This was like 15, 16 years ago. I thought I was standing at the toilet for sure. Turns out there's the couch and here.
Wait, you did that too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro. I had a near experience, but not quite. I thought I was awake, and every time I tried to go to the bathroom, someone would come out of the corner and say, "What do you think you're doing?" Until I woke up and realized I'm still in my bed.
That sounds like. So anyway, I was really drunk. I had gone to bed. I had to pee. I got up in the wee hours. Nobody was there, and I swear I could see not just any toilet, but like the one in that house in that bathroom, and I'm standing in front of it in my mind, and I'm like, oh, this is the biggest pee of my whole life. And my brother comes in and he's just like, Max, what the fuck? And I look down and I'm like, oh, I'm peeing on the couch. Oh, fuck. So we threw the couch away.
Amazing.
I bought him a case of beer as an apology.
Even though, which is ironic, kind of.
Yeah, well, to be fair, him and his hoodlum friends stabbed my car with knives until it was on the inside while they were sitting there smoking pot until it was unusable because I just didn't have it on the road for like a couple months. So he owed me a car, I owe him a couch. We'll just have a few beers.
That's actually a fair.
Who's smoking pot in some guy's car, just stabbing it?
The whole thing, they carve shit into it, or just randomly they're stabbing the upholstery, they're stabbing the dashboard all up, cutting it apart. And it was like, bro, I go to my car, I'm like, bro, this thing was mint condition. I just needed to get my registration in order. It was off the road for like 3 months. What the fuck?
Well, Max, they were just doing interior decorating.
They said we made it cool.
Yeah, some psychos were in your car.
They even pulled out the airbag though, so it was like completely like I had to total the car.
Who the fuck is doing that?
I don't know, man. A bunch of teenage potheads.
Why? Okay, why the hell would you? I mean, if you're going to like remove the airbags, like that's fucking dedication.
Yeah. Y'all clearly just ain't from the hood.
Yeah, no shit, I'm not.
Speaking of those guys, shout out to Stoner Nation. That's my posse. They even carved that into the fucking dashboard.
Well, that's good. At least they did that.
Yeah, I mean, like they ruined my car, but I could appreciate some of the artwork, you know?
Well, hey, and you got a story. You got a story to tell out of it.
To waste bare knuckle boxing with me.
Well, you know, that too, I guess.
Yeah, that made me feel better.
But well, we did hear we did hear from a black man that Charlie Kirk was not the worst.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He's half black. See, sometimes I forget, and I'm just like, oh, where was the black guy?
Yeah, so you can only take half of my opinion, okay? Sam, don't get carried away now. The other half of my opinion is fucking racist.
Yeah, exactly. and that's true.
So wait. So wait, so the black part of you likes Charlie Kirk. Now what about the white
No one also likes Charlie Kirk.
It's the one thing they agree on, Sam. Get up to speed.
The black part likes him because, he's a nice religious man. The other side likes him because he's white. You see, Sam.
You even did the Jared Taylor thing. I see. So,
well, he did say his white half is racist.
Yeah.
We've been trying to keep that under control for years, but he can't help it.
No, I can't.
Well, according to the left, Charlie radicalized a lot of young men to become racist.
According to the left, you can't get rid of the racism. See, we looked to the left's writings to see how we could fix his white hat from being racist against everybody. And they told us that you can't fix white people's racism. So apparently he's just always going to be like this. Kind of sucks.
You see, that's exactly right, Sam. That's exactly how this works 100% of the time. You see, racism is like original sin, and bigotry is like heresy. So you dare speak a single word of that bigotry, or we're going to have to put you on the upside down cross.
Yeah, you're just stained for life because you thought a bad thought one time. That's how
I think I understand you finally, Wayne. So you're just constantly at war with yourself then, because you're half black and you're half white, so you're just constantly
Oh, well, now we're getting too deep, Sam.
No,
now you're starting to understand me a little bit too well.
Yeah, but he's missing the big part. He's all American, motherfucker.
Well, I have no choice.
Well, yeah, clearly he is all American.
That's right. No other person could say the dumbest shit that he says unless they were a true American hero.
Well, I'm going to get Ballard if I say hero, but yeah.
I know. I added hero, and it's like, wait a minute. Damn it. You got me.
Yeah, I am a true American.
I don't know. Americans do say some. You haven't said anything quite so dumb as
American hero.
Charlie's death wasn't that bad.
A true American hero is reckless with their retardation. A true American hero will light the big fucking firework off and ignore all the fucking warnings on it and hold it and say, look at this motherfucker, right before throwing it at the last second. Maybe they blow their hand off, maybe they don't, but god damn it, they're celebrating their country and that's all that matters.
That's right. I think maybe we should have been more critical on the left when they gave the warning sign when they killed that CEO and everyone was like, yeah, kill him. Like, maybe we should have cracked down on them a little bit earlier then, and instead of letting them relish in that killing.
So here's an honest question for you, because you tend to have interesting opinions sometimes. What would you do now, given, let's say they decided you're the strategist guy on how we're going to deal with this? Where would your attention be focused?
Yeah, I'd probably is it me or Sam?
You.
No, you.
Oh,
Yeah.
well. Some of my friends are going insane because they like Charlie Kirk, but they're trying to calm themselves down using their religious reasoning. I think that we should probably use the state against the most radical extremists who are advocating violence openly, because we can do that and it's a crime. We can send them to prison. Like,
And it's
I think prison will straighten them out, but might not.
it's ethical, moral, and legal to do so.
Yeah, and we get to go home and not to prison, and we don't have to die. That's probably better. Like, I'm not good with moral arguments, but I'm good with practical arguments of practically that does not work, and we are going to die. Let's not do that. Yeah, let's just get criminals sent to prison, and then we get to go home and get in our shower where we're alone and not with 20 other guys.
And I know the answer to this because I've known you a while, but has anyone in the name of or adjacent to Antifa ever harassed you? Now that
Me personally?
now that they are legally a terror organization, it doesn't matter if it's anonymous, it doesn't matter if they dox or no dox. Have you ever encountered a situation online where an Antifa person has either threatened you or whatever?
I can't recall being particularly threatened by them at any point. No, they just call me a troll and ban me. Pretty much, that's gonna be pretty much it. They don't threaten me. If you're like, you gotta be like a little bit more reasonable, and then like talk about like Jesus, and then they'll threaten you, and then they'll hate you and whatnot.
That's true, because you purposely go into some places on the internet to piss people off. That's why I asked, right? But hey, they absolutely harassed me, tried to dox me, but gave out the fake name of Peter something or other, which I don't even remember. It's Peter something. That was intended to dox me, though, even though they got it wrong. They got me banned off of Facebook. They put my picture up on different gay-oriented websites, and the headline said that this is the face of homophobia in America.
Okay.
So like what I'm saying is, now that they're a terrorist organization, can we start punishing them for these types of behaviors, which are all crimes?
Well, I hope so.
I don't know if you saw that, but yes, they're now legally classed a terror organization. A major terror organization.
Good. I thought they already were. I was confused.
Well, it was tried to be done a few years ago, but Trump didn't. I was gonna say pull the trigger, but I'm trying not to use those kind of references. But
Didn't commit.
He didn't go through with it, but now he has, and I could very easily. We have lists of these people's names and what they've done already. So if they're actually going to investigate it, I guarantee you we could get people put in jail for a long time.
Yeah, good. Send them to jail for a long time.
People like myself, and other creators who have been harassed by Antifa should consider getting together for a class action lawsuit against the people who are funding them.
Yeah, yeah, Max. That was going to be my next question. Is like, could we like sue for like damages, or
Well, I'll say this. I pointed out, me and Core were also pointing about some of Twitch's practices. So there could be a lawsuit potentially there, because I'll tell you right now, me and Core were talking about this today on a private message. Both of us would be Twitch partners if they were not politically biased. That is unquestionable. We both left the site of our own volition. We both left because of their moderation policies, because of the harassment that we faced from leftist activists on the site. We both left because there's no future over there, because if you get too big and you say you like Trump at all, you're banned. So
right.
They facilitated a hostile environment that did not have fair competitive practices based on political beliefs. I do think there's a potential for lawsuits there for people like me and Core, who literally got froze out of becoming creators on an even playing field with anybody else before we even stepped foot in the fucking door.
I wonder because I know that YouTube is like not as bad now because like they have like a lot of pro Charlie Kirk stuff, but like I definitely know I am absolutely convinced, Max, that like had we been had we been on an even playing field, had I been on an even playing field on YouTube, I would be a massive success.
That's what I'm saying. They have literally used these tactics to freeze us out of the market. We finally have a chance now, especially with these people. Many of the people associated with Antifa are the same people who were the ones freezing us out directly. They were involved in direct action to do so. So if we could turn the tables on them, finally use some lawfare. By the way, shout out to Kurt Doolittle and the Natural Law Institute. If you are a young man right now, particularly if you have any skills in programming or AI, you might want to consider going over to the Natural Law Institute because they have some things to say that might help you, and you might be able to help them. Anyway, Kurt Doolittle, I've been promoting sort of as an undertone here for a long time. He's always supported the idea of us using the state, the lawfare system that they've used against us to get cases, even if we're going to lose some of them, in front of the court that favor us and put those people on the defensive for once.
Yeah, and by the way, we had Kurt on the show like when you and Shmuley first came on. Next Gen Conservative at the time, before it even became like Right to Offend. Like Kurt was one of the first guests we had, and
he's been one of the bigger supporters of what we've been doing, and I don't always get a chance to shout him out so directly, but he has been advocating for lawfare, using the legal system to get our way like the other side does for years, and it's about time we take that tactic. I'm not going to tell you don't get people fired, but I don't think that long term that's what's going to do it. But I will tell you, if we have any chance of suing these motherfuckers for what they did to us, for blacklisting us, that's what they did. They blacklisted us from every major platform for our beliefs, just like they complain about was done to commies in the 50s, which didn't even really happen the way they say it did. They did it to us directly, and they sued when it happened to them. There is precedent for this, Sam. Might not be about a tech company, but they sued the broadcasting companies and they won. That's why the left took control of the fucking media. They did it through the lawfare system, the legal system. And we need to start doing that right now. We need to take this back. And we need to say, you can say a lot of things in this fucking country, but you cannot advocate to kill people.
That's also... yeah, well, and to that end, too, I saw this from Evan. Apparently the Charlie Kirk Act is apparently like there's an act dedicated, in Charlie Kirk's name that would basically like prevent that from happening.
And big shout out to Evan and the Fake Untitled podcast as well, because they've been busting ass and they put out a really good show. Sam's on there sometimes. It's always worth listening to. They come super prepared for the topics. I often learn more about what's going on in the news from Evan, Craig, and Steve than I do from listening to anybody else in the entire world. So please go check them out. Now they're on YouTube. They're on Spotify. The Fake Untitled podcast. Check it out. Sorry, Sam. We try to.
No problem.
I have a question.
Yeah.
No question. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So is Kurt Doolittle doing the AI? Is he making the AI where it's based off of multiple religions, or is that just a shitpost?
The Institute is working on AI projects.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I'm not sure what Kurt's doing exactly. AI project works.
I think
the guy that has experience in the AI field, specifically the NLI, could use you.
Well, I have experience using something called, let me look for it in my, I have experience using AI for image generation, like Krita AI and stuff like that, but that's with image generation. So you're probably looking for chatbot generation.
Neither of those things. We're looking for people with like engineering experience. But regardless, hey, NLI are doing a lot of great things in helping young men, and I'm just trying to shout them out and stop trying to fucking make me say things about it that are either untrue or bad. I'm promoting something here.
Yeah.
We like Kurt. I just talked to Kurt the other day.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at Kurt's Twitter, like trying to see if he has said anything about the Charlie Kirk situation. I'm sure he has, and I'm just not like seeing it.
He's been talking to a lot of people privately, just like you, who are. So I don't know if what he's had. I don't think he's had a lot of time this last week because this is the kind of thing that will get his gears spinning. But I just wanted to shout out that the lawfare strategy, that is Kurt Doolittle's like signature idea for activism that we can do that will actually be effective. So I would be remiss not to mention him, and that this is one thing I think that maybe we could work towards. A class action lawsuit for creators who were blacklisted by the social media sites is not a vain lawsuit, I think. I think there is some teeth there. But I'm not a lawyer, so maybe I'm retarded. In fact, I'm not a lawyer at all. I'm not a professional lawyer. I'm not a professional legal person. I am actually professionally retarded here on the Whitfield Report Live. So,
well, none of us are legal experts.
that's right.
Here.
Nor are you experts in being retarded like me, which is why I'm here. That's why I make the big bucks, Sam.
Well, I am an expert in being crippled though, and you know,
Wayne is he's like a Padawan of retardation. To be fair,
I'm about to do a Luke Skywalker right now.
I said Padawan. You're more like one of them little, like a baby Wookiee with a lightsaber. That's more like you.
I'm not ready to be a retard master.
Not yet.
I'm joining Order 66 right now.
You need some training before you can fully embrace the power of the tardation.
And apparently Hassan is like in full panic mode. Good.
His friend got canceled.
He's always said things that were so legal because he never seen any consequences. So why would he be worried at all?
No, it's totally fine. Who was his friend? Not Charlie. Destiny. Yeah, they just went on TV and said they won't condemn murder until X thing happens, and they're trying to kick it down the road and before they have to condemn the murder in front of a bunch of journalists. And they're like, "Are you kidding me?"
You know what's funny about Hassan?
Well,
I got one for you, Sam. Here's a great comparison I just thought of. Hassan explaining how he's not a terrorist is a lot like Cantwell explaining he's not gay.
I knew you were gonna say that, Max. And I hate to say it, but like, damn it, that literally is like the perfect 1-to-1 comparison.
Yeah, it's identical. It's like shows terrorist propaganda. I'm not a terrorist. Sucks dick. I'm not gay. It's the same thing.
Well, that's like that meme of the guy who shoots. There's that meme of the guy who shoots.
Someone.
Yeah, the Eric Andre meme. And and the left has literally done this, where quite literally, where they shot Charlie Kirk and was like, well, but Charlie's perpetuating violence as he's.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel took it one step further. He literally shoots him and is like, hands you the gun and says, "You did this."
Yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah, when they say perpetuate violence, they mean you had dissent, and therefore you perpetuated the violence of me killing you for having that dissent. Now shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The tendency
know,
of some people to be doomers and even be afraid, but that always happens when we start to win.
I don't know about you, Max. It doesn't feel like we've been winning a whole lot lately. But damn it, I hope we get to the point where we're sick of winning. That's how it felt in January.
If you care about the kind of movement we've been a part of for so long now, we have been winning because people are understanding us better, and people are understanding that we're more like them than ever before, and that Charlie Kirk is more like them than they might have thought too. And more hearts and minds have been awakened to the possibility to at least hear what we have to say than ever before. So to me, that's a win, and that would actually make Charlie very happy despite everything. He would obviously still have a lot of things to be sad about, but the idea that many people's hearts were awakened, not just to his political message, but to God. More people talk about it's not even political for them. They just want to go to church for the first time in forever. Or they just feel like maybe they needed to pray when before they really didn't. And they didn't even really know Charlie Kirk. That would make him happy. I know it would make him happy.
Absolutely.
He would still be sad for his family and for everything else, but he would at least know that it wasn't for nothing. That he lit a fire in the hearts of millions in his passing.
I finally did watch his wife's statement, and even though people have talked about the Blueberry story, my God, man, I was crying. I don't even have kids, but
again, she's talked about this obviously before, but when we lost her dad, my son was four.
Yep.
4 is older than her children, and also it's his granddad, not his dad. So it's even worse. It's even harder. There's even more things you like. But just to tell him,
right,
every time you say what's right in the moment, even you can't, like, what do you tell children who cannot conceive of death? Well, a lot of times you'll say stuff like they're in heaven or they're with Jesus. That's very normal, by the way. I did see that there is a bunch of disingenuous little concern troll bitches trying to criticize her over it. I would say don't listen to people like that because they don't even have your best interest in heart anyway. What she told us was beautiful, or the girl was beautiful.
Well, another concern troll I saw was, well, why is she even sharing that story with us? That, that should be her private that should be her
You took
thing.
most of her privacy away when you put a bullet in her husband.
Yeah, well, that, and, we all grieve in different ways. Maybe she wanted to share that with us. Maybe that's her way of processing. Did you ever think of that?
They don't care.
No, of course they don't, Max. I'm asking, rhetorically.
I know. It's tough for me in a way because there's a lot of people who don't understand a lot of their stupid little tricks and tactics. And I just always react to them the same, which is I don't even give it play because I know how they operate. But I will say a lot of people, and maybe this is you if you're listening and you haven't been really tuned in, don't understand some of the emotional manipulation tactics that the left uses, but they are finally starting to see them. And that's the most common one, that concern troll. When they pretend to say something that would be like, I'm caring about you, but it's masked with an attack.
Yeah.
Or rather, it masks the attack. Like, for example, a perfect example of concern trolling, I think I brought this up before, is what happened to Ethan and Gila Klein when people called CPS on them saying that because their kids got sick, they're bad parents. That's concern trolling taken to the farthest extreme.
Well, or here's even like here's an example of concern trolling relevant to me. Oh, Sam, you better get the COVID vaccine because you have cerebral palsy, and even though it has nothing to do with respiratory whatsoever, you're in a more vulnerable state, don't you know? And it would be a real shame if you were to get COVID.
Yeah, and all the medical advice says you should get the vaccine, except, Sam, there was one medical advice that said you shouldn't, right? Your doctor?
And that, yeah. Well, and it wasn't even that it wasn't even that my doctor said I shouldn't. It was my doctor said I would wait. That
Wow,
was
what a reasonable position.
That was literally what my doctor said because at the time, well, two factors. A, my mom had cancer, so they didn't want anyone in the family getting a vaccine because she had no immune system, and so she would have been
doing better these days. Just so in case anybody doesn't know,
yeah.
You throw that out there, you can point that out.
Right. No, she's been cancer free for 2 years. Thank the good Lord. But no, at the time, that was and unfortunately, my situation was not unique. That's why a lot of people didn't get the vaccine.
And then at the time, you realized you didn't need it. And like I've told you before, I got it early on because my doc said to get the Moderna, which I've got no issue.
Yeah.
It's been how many years? 4 years now. Hey, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. But it's funny because we've always done the show co-hosting with one of us vax, one of us not, like this. And obviously there's, Mort, I believe, didn't get it, right?
I don't think he did. No, I don't think he did, but he will tell you too that he got like concern trolled over the vax.
Well, even perfectly healthy people got that shit, but especially you. It's almost like you. It's like, yes, I understand that this is like an obvious vulnerability I have, but I think I might know more about it than you, faggot. I've lived with it my whole life.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole thing, that women have done, too, that I've mentioned before, where they just assume that, because my legs don't work, other things don't work, and it's like, yeah, that's not how cerebral palsy works,
No. It's not how retardation works either. Thank God.
No. Well,
no.
In the case,
that's a problem. Is that they their penis works and they're retarded. You know what I mean? And it steers them kind of in a Cantwell. Perfect example. But
there is that, but then there is also the example of like you, where you're so retarded that Maxine was like, my God, I have to marry him because who else will take care of him?
That's a pretty
if
good
I know-
idea. I should try to start doing that.
Being retarded, you're on a
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
on a grand beginning, my friend. You are on a path for success.
Yeah, I gotta go introduce myself to women as a retard. You know, hey, what's up, baby?
No, you gotta actually say real words. You just gotta have a little bit of like a tard. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you today?
See my special bus. I'm late. It's short. It's yellow. We have another
that's
on the
cool.
bus.
Oh yeah, sometimes I just don't get on the bus.
I sit at the front of the bus so I can get an extra piece of candy.
Oh, you sit in the front of the bus. You're like that nice brown lady from the history book.
This is all incredibly accurate too, by the way. Two of us on this panel at least have ridden the short bus. I know that. So yes,
I have a feeling it's more than 2. I have a feeling it's like 4 or 5. There's only 3 people on the panel.
Oh, that's so nice. Sharing is caring.
Well, because my friend, he used to ride it with me.
well, yes,
Yeah.
but on that note, I do think to kind of go back what you were saying, and I think kind of a good way to end the show is yeah, I mean it's unfortunate what has happened, but I think Charlie would be well, obviously he wouldn't be happy that what happened, but I think he would be happy with what's kind of come out of his. I don't know if sacrifice is the right word, because it's not like
the tragedy of his passing has given us opportunity for a brighter future. And
yes,
I think we'll be thankful to him for that, even if it's not the way we all would like it to be.
Yeah. So that'll do it for the show tonight. Max, Wayne, either of you have anything you want to promote or
promoting things? Well, I do not promote murder.
Based.
I don't know.
He's like, let me tell you what I don't promote. Terrorism.
Yeah, generally it just doesn't. Yeah. Also, the killer was retarded. Like his plan is, I'm just gonna get to the top roof, and you know what I'm gonna do? Jump off of it when I'm done. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm gonna hurt myself. Now I'm limping.
Well, if everybody's in the mood for a different type of existential horror, that rather than having them sad and upset, we'll have them laughing at the misfortunes of a drug-addicted Nazi who turns out has been very, very gay all along. Join us tomorrow night around 8 p.m. on Cringe Coffee House as we look into Christopher Cantwell, gay porn star.
Yay!
Woo! Yeah! Woo!
It'll be
that'll be
on my show, Sam. And I know you've seen some stuff that was on my show that you're like, how bad it is already. This is the worst.
No.
He talks about using toys and butts and oh my god.
No, Max. You're going for broke. You're going to really earn the name Cringe Coffee House tomorrow.
That's cringe.
Well, I have.
You're putting it.
If it was literally anyone but Cantwell that this had happened to, I could probably let it pass. But considering I've already had people begging me to cover it, I'm obligated. So we're going to read Cantwell's gay porn.
Based.
We're not listening. I don't care. Look, I've had 3 people say we should listen to the audio because Josh didn't. I don't fucking care. If you listen to the audio of Cantwell having sex with a man, that makes you gay by osmosis.
Oh no.
That's how he got gay in the first place.
The gay mind virus.
That's right. It's mimetic virus of gayness that, once you consume the content, you have an insatiable lust for dick. So don't we're gonna read the book as much as it's gonna pay me. I already almost vomited, Sam, and I only read 1 full page.
Bro, they're evolving.
Oh man, but I'll tell you this, it is kind of an insight into how disgusting the average gay hookup scene is. Ugh.
Yeah.
Or maybe Cantwell's gross even by their standards. I don't know. He is pretty gross.
So Max, maybe you should bring a bucket to tomorrow's show then.
Bring a bucket, bring a hose, bring some breath mints, probably some whiskey. It's gonna get rough out there. And a cross.
Yeah.
To defend yourself from the demon of homosexuality that is attached to this story.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But anyway, we will I will for sure be tuning in for that. I'll probably be part of the panel for
Cringing just thinking about the content, Sam. I just thought about it for a second, and I physically found my body cringing. This is.
I'm
sorry.
I'm cringing.
Done.
Is the cringe that strong?
It's
He licked the cum out of a fleshlight, and he wrote about it in a book.
Max, I just
and he won an award for writing that book.
But he went on to be a gay Nazi in prison. He could have been a gay writer and became a millionaire homosexual.
I'm not even joking, man. He was around the libertarians in Keene, the most degenerate people at the time in America. And if he had just told them he was gay, not one person would have batted an eyelash. But instead of that, he's like, I'm going to be the hardcore Nazi dude. And yeah, his whole life is ruined for that decision. He could have been the gay dude. Nobody would have cared.
No one would have cared. He could have just been homosexual and then not been a Nazi.
He probably would have had a way bigger show. Way bigger. Because they'd have been fine with all his degenerate bullshit.
Yeah, and then he could have just fucked all his libertarian friends and they wouldn't think he was a weird Nazi. Don't puke.
So if he's been gay this long, Sam, I'm gonna say it's 100% certainty that he fucked Ian Freeman. 100%. Anyway, good night.
And on that note, God bless America. God bless Charlie Kirk and his family. And we will talk at you down the road.
God save our souls.
No, not mine. I'm a jerk.
Not his. Well, his too.
Even you, Dip. But good night, everyone.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless, God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.